Hello and welcome back everyone, we Weeb Online, and today I'm gonna continue the story What If Naruto Became Loli Kurama's Oni-chan Part 3. If you enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and to watch more videos like this, subscribe to my channel and turn that bell notification on so you never miss an upload. Now wasting no more time, let's begin.
Naruto felt awfully empty, like a man who, after weeks of being lost in the desert, having run out of food and water, decides to just give up and wait for the sweet, cold embrace of death. Naruto was slumped down against a tree in yet another random training area of Konohagakure. Only his right leg was stretched and his left arm was resting on his left knee. There seemed to be a lot of those training areas, that is. Muoni-chan, why didn't we have Wayman? I thought we would have Wayman. Ha! Naruto exhaled. Didn't you like that his body shook as if jolted by an electrical spark? It was not electricity, though. It was just despair. Teriyaki. Sayuri nodded joyfully. It was good. But Wayman's better. I know. Naruto buried his face in his hands and sobbed. I know. He wondered if Konoha had already disposed of his kitchen stock of instant ramen. Damn those evil and crazy women, they can't watch over me forever. With a defiant fist to the heavens, Naruto stoked the flames of his determination. But, he sighed. Under the shade of the tree he was sitting against, he could not bask in the soothing, comfortable warmth of the early afternoon. What do I do now? Naruto's face was unusually solemn. He seemed tired. Konoha was a no-no. I only have 9 days left before I have to fight that Neji. Fighting is bad. Naruto Nai-chan shouldn't fight. Naruto Nai-chan should be happy and pee-way with Sayuri. Pray. You mean play. Pee-way. Anyway, this is kind of a very, very important thing, Sayuri. I cannot back down from this. Okay. I believe Oni-chan. Thanks, I guess. Naruto sighed again. But what am I supposed to do now? I had this whole month to become stronger, but now I feel like I've only wasted my time. I haven't even learned a single jutsu. Oni-chan can summon Kitsune. Well, yeah, but that wouldn't be fair. He paused. Not that I really care about fairness, but the whole point of kicking Neji's ass is proving that I'm not a loser. I won't if I make a Kitsune beat him for me. I don't get it. Of course you don't. Naruto rolled his eyes. But Oni-chan only wants jutsu. Well, of course. I need new, cool stuff to beat that jerk. He paused. And what do you mean, only? Waiha. That's easy. Azipiki. Sayuri knows jutsu. Sayuri can teach Oni-chan jutsu. Silence. Well, he cannot be blamed for that. Jutsu. Sayuri will teach Oni-chan really nice jutsu. Tihia. Sayuri is not really helping the case much. Didn't Konoha say you just randomly set people on fire? He paused. Again. And why exactly am I complaining? What did you just say? The two boys shuddered together. Shino. The room's temperature just dropped, didn't it? Yes, it did. In fact, it's killing my hive. And it suddenly got kinda dark. It seems there's an unpredicted partial eclipse. Akamaru whined. The two boys and dog turned back to face the source of the new, unbridled terror that invaded them. Her lunch was left forgotten on a wooden tray in front of her. Her small hands gripped the sheets and threatened to tear them apart. Her short hair fell down her forehead, covering her bloodshot eyes. Sadako, I mean, Hinata. What did you just say? Hinata repeated, her voice frighteningly low-pitched and guttural. In all honesty, if she had suddenly spun her head 360 degrees, they would not have been surprised in the slightest. He said we met with Naruto on the way here. He was accompanied by the waitress from the ramen stand he frequents. Shino detailed. As if his words somehow carried a mysterious power over her, Hinata suddenly relaxed. The sheet sighed in relief. The planetary bodies returned to their proper positions in the sky, and the normal temperature was restored. I am Sim. Leave it to Hinata to know the name of the people in charge of Naruto's favorite place in the whole world. Shino nodded. They seemed rather close. I must say it was surprising. Rather close. Kiba gaped. The chick was all of Uog. Kiba bent forward and fell on the clean hospital floor in a fetal position, grunting and groaning after Shino punched him in the gut. Kai Kiba-kun. Hinata hurriedly looked over the edge of her hospital bed, shooting a concerned glance at her fallen teammate. Akamaru was barking complaints at the bug user. Do not mind him, Shino explained. He does not know what he is saying. Hinata nodded and eased back on the bed, looking still a bit uncertain. However, Shino's words possessed amazing dialectic powers. Fufuko. Shino eased back the foot with which he kicked Kiba's right side. Manners in front of the lady, Kiba. So Naruto-kun. Shino has always been a very perceptive person. I am sure he has been very involved with his preparation for the finals. Neither Kiba nor I had seen him since the preliminaries until yesterday. Yes, I guess Hinata muttered with a half-smile. You should finish your meal, Shino suggested. Hi. Hinata nodded bashfully, picking the chopsticks and dropping them again. Shino-kun. Yes, what about the other woman? Silence. A crow cawed somewhere outside. Excuse me. Kiba, still on the floor, snickered. Heheho. Kiba-kun said Naruto-kun was accompanied by 2 women. Who was the second woman? Shino-kun. Shino released an exhalation. It was too quiet to be called a sigh. I do not know. It was not someone I can remember having seen before. Hinata frowned. Kiba-kun. Believe me, I would remember those. Oh. Damn it, Shino. So she's an unknown. Hinata voiced, her tone obviously one of worry. For a team specialized in recon, an unknown variable was always a worrisome thing. While a part of her, the weak, self-deprecating part of her, wanted to see a tempest in a glass of water, she forced herself to be objective. She would trust in the master of all things objective. Shino-kun, what can you tell us about this woman? She's skilled, Shino stated. She noticed the insects I had planted on both her and on Iam-san. I would also suppose that there is a reason she carries a katana with her. The fact that she wears a kimono with the weapon speaks of her skill or at least of her confidence. What I do not get is the unusual instrument she held under her obi. Huh? Shino looked down at his male teammate. You didn't see the backsaw, did you? I throw your words back at you. I was too busy staring at her humongous O. Fuck you, Shino. Fuck you. You kicked my fucking spleen. Oh, you did it again. AKA MARU, attack. The little white dog only tilted his head and whined. Shino almost looked smug. Unlike you, Akamaru knows prudence, and he does learn from his mistakes. He turned to Hinata. In any case, this woman is as perceptive as a highly skilled ninja, and it seems she can use bladed weapons. Also, as our partner here has so rudely tried to state, she is considerably beautiful. What I cannot make heads or tails of is her last statement. Excuse me, Hinata inquired. She claimed to be Naruto's servant. Whether this is something to be taken literally or it has a hidden meaning, I do not know. Hinata blinked. SSSCC servant. For some reason, her mind conjured images of a tall, beautiful girl clad in a French-made costume feeding Naruto his favorite ramen. Her face went whiter. Then, as if triggering an inherent defense mechanism, her mind changed the hypothetical woman for Hinata herself. Less than 5 seconds later, she was drooling like an imbecile. Hinata. I am listening. Really, I'm not imagining Naruto-kun bending me on top of a table or anything. Hinata claimed in response to Shino's call, waving her arms in front of her as fast as she could. Right, so what are we gonna do? Naruto was standing in the middle of a clearing, ready to try whatever Sayuri wanted to teach him. While he normally would be very excited at the prospect of learning a new technique, it was hard not to be a bit skeptical when his new teacher happened to be Higashiyama Sayuri. Well, Oni-chan doesn't have tails, so got it. It's gotta be the Pewetty beam. The what? The Pewetty beam. It's a beam, and it's PWETTY. Yeah, I had kinda figured that out already. It's big, and shiny, and it goes whoosh, and then everything goes white. Ooh, okay. So, how does this work? Note to self, come up with new jutsu name as soon as possible. Okay, hey. It's the first time Sayuri teaches. I'm Sayuri-sensei. Teehee. Cute. So, what do I do? Well, Oni-chan needs chakra. Like, all over. Sayuri will help. Sayuri will give Oni-chan a nitty bit of chakra. With a pulse of chakra that traveled beyond the clearing and into the sea of trees, Naruto found himself enveloped in the fiery coat of nauseous orange chakra. The almost physical pressure he still remembered from his experience inside the seal came back in full force, as the sheer power of Sayuri's mere existence threatened to push him down on his knees. Sayuri, stop. The fox girl did stop, dispelling the uncomfortable feeling but leaving the awesome cloak of chakra at Naruto's disposal. Majuo. Damn it, you call that an itty bit? Yup. Naruto growled. Damn you and your 9 tails. They're pewetty. Wiggle, wiggle. I hope nobody else felt that. As if on cue, all bird nests in a 50-meter radius fell off their places, the dead bodies of dozens of tiny winged creatures dragged down with them, their brains fried as if exposed to the world's largest cell phone. Ooh damn. Oh, it happened again. Excuse me. It happened all the time when I got Ma 9 tails. Yuri Oni-chan told me Ma chakra makes the birdies fall asleep. Isn't that great? Naruto remained in stunned silence, coping with the painful, uncomfortable coldness in his heart at the raw, unbridled innocence in Sayuri's words. That Yuri Oni-chan of yours, she's a really, really nice sister, isn't she? Sayuri loves Yuri Oni-chan lots. Naruto had to hold back tears. He did not know what saddened him the most, Sayuri's innocence or his sense of detachment when presented with the mass murder of innocent avian wildlife. It was a good thing, though, that they were pretty far from inhabited Konoha. The pulse didn't travel that far, hence remained undetected. Naruto could, however, still see the face sculpted on the mountain just above the tree line. I see. Okay, so I'll release my chakra, too, all over my body, right? Yup. Taking a deep breath and relaxing both his muscles and posture, Naruto willed his chakra to flow. He had to give some credit to Jiraiya. Somehow that punch in the gut from the day they met had done wonders to his chakra control. Ever since he was taught about the chakra circulatory system during the prelims, he had a better idea of what exactly chakra flow meant. He could imagine his chakra flowing just like his blood, reaching every inch of his frame. More chakra, Oni-chan. Got it, got it. It really humbled him. He knew he had good chakra reserves, but the amount of it he was currently releasing was probably nothing for the little foxgirl sealed in his belly. He opened the gates a bit further, allowing for a stronger flow. Is this enough? I guess. Could be better. Naruto muttered curses under his breath. Sure, keep rubbing it on my face, damn it. So, what now? What now? You have no idea of what you're doing, have you? Sayuri knows. The Pewetty beam. Sayuri just never really thought about how I did it, I just did it. I think I hate you more and more with every passing moment. Waju Oni-chan, you am weenie. Joking, joking. You know you're my best friend, as weird as that might be. Naruto chuckled amicably, to which Sayuri replied with a chuckle of her own. Now, really, try to think a bit more. I can wait. Oni-chan, I love you. I'll do my best. Therefore, Naruto was partial witness to the amazing spectacle of Sayuri doing something she was not really used to doing. Thinking hard. Money, yeah. Munya. Do you really have to make those weird noises? It's part of my character concept. What? Sayuri actually released a condescending sigh. Silly Oni-chan. Let Sayuri think. Okay. I'm so like that, and then Maju thinking is hard. I want to laugh at that sentence, but for some reason I just can't. Maju Sayuri doesn't get it, but Oni-chan's being a weenie. Oh, sorry. Naruto chuckled. Maybe I can burn Oni-chan's meanness. Please don't. A few minutes later, Sayuri claimed to have a plan. With her strangely warm chakra cloaking him, Naruto was starting to seriously sweat. So we need to make the Pewetty bubbles. Bubbles? Yup, bubbles. Okay. So, how do we make these bubbles? Well, you kinda Maju, it's hard to explain you, like let go of your chakra and then take it back. Oh, I don't get it. Maju, it's like you let go but then you don't. You let go but don't really let go. Ugh, I think I get what you're trying to say, but can I do that? If I can do it, then surely Oni-chan can too. For some reason that doesn't really make me feel more confident. Maju. But let's see if I can work something out. Naruto had loads and loads of chakra running through his body, plus a layer of supremely powerful chakra to the point that it coated his body in orange. Sayuri was asking him to release it all to the exterior without losing control over it, hence it wouldn't just disperse and be hopelessly lost. Naruto had absolutely no idea if that was even possible. Well, here goes nothing. With a wordless battle cry, Naruto willed his chakra to move. The workings of chakra were beyond him. He only had instinct, feel. He did not know how it was for everyone else. He did not know if it was because of Sayuri. But he had a very strong feel of his chakra. It was the first time he really paid attention to it. But it was almost comforting how it felt almost like water running through and over his body. Yes, the feeling was kind of liquid. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Naruto repeated himself like a mantra, for he was about to betray everything he thought he knew about chakra, which was not really much. And go. He willed his chakra to leave his body, to expand and disperse like any fluid released from its container. However, come back. Naruto could not possibly understand what happened. For a moment of perfect stillness, Naruto's last command struggled against the natural order of things. The tendrils of chakra eager to fade into the atmosphere froze like orange jelly icicles as the opposing forces, one physical and the other spiritual, tore them apart from the inside out. The opposing forces, away and towards Naruto's body, finally balanced each other out and cancelled, leaving only centrifugal forces. The continuous mass of chakra broke apart into dozens of separate constructs that rotated around Naruto like satellites, all of them immediately reshaping itself into the most balanced shape they could conceive. Whoa bubbles. Wow hi. Pewetty bubbles. Shiny. Wiggle, wiggle. It was certainly a beautiful show. The thin chakra structures reacted in strange ways under the sunlight, creating radiant displays of alien color and luster. That was surprisingly easy. Naruto muttered in disbelief. Of course it was easy. It's Majutsu. Sayuri, possessor of far more chakra and far less control than Naruto, explained. It made sense that the only jutsu she could pull off are those so pathetically easy that even Sayuri can do them. It was the negative consequence of becoming a Nine-Tails at the age of 101. It makes one wonder why Sayuri of all people is the only being who has thought of releasing her chakra before shaping just to see what happens. Probably it is just that everybody assumes it would be nothing but a waste. That somehow actually makes sense. Naruto agreed. So, what now? We shoot these things. Nope. Oni-chan has to gather all the shiny bubbles to make the big shiny ball. That's kinda hard. So, gather them. Naruto soon realized why Sayuri said it was kinda hard. The small chakra bubbles liked being bubbles, apparently. They just did not want to merge. At the same time, he willed the smaller objects into the gathering. He had to exert mental pressure on the thing so that it would not explode on his face. He had the hunch Sayuri was actually somehow helping him. It was difficult, but far from impossible. He was sweating torrents by the time he was done, though. At some point, the whole thing had become an unnervingly pitch black. Well, haha, it's done, Huff. Now tell me what to do with it before I lose it. Make it tiny. Excuse me. Make it tiny like the Pewetty bubbles. You're joking, right? Nope. I can't do that. Magia. Why not? I can barely keep it like this. No way in hell I can compress that thing. Whoa. Naruto refocused on the chakra ball, which had been bloating dangerously due to his loss of concentration. That was close. Don't say that, Oni-chan. I'm sure Oni-chan can do it. I can do it. It doesn't really have that much chakra. It should be easy. Naruto growled and cursed. I'm only a human, you know. Moo, Oni-chan. Just do it. Okay. Sheesh women, Naruto grumbled before getting to it. Urami was immersed in a bit of light reading. Waiting for the call to lunch, it was a bit delayed, actually, when the sliding door to her bedroom opened, revealing the tall figure of her guardian/maid. Thank you for the hard work. She got nothing in response but a smack on the head. That's for not warning me this was going to happen. Urami-sama. The two tails muttered something inaudible. She couldn't help but take a look at the all-too-familiar sports bag. You really never let go of that thing, do you? Of course not. Makoto-kun and I will be together until the end of our days. Urami made an odd face. Doesn't she even realize his days were over a pretty long time ago? I think Naruto-sama and Makoto-kun will become good friends. It must be uncomfortable for Makoto-kun being surrounded by nothing but females the whole time. Humans also need same-gendered friends, you know. Urami rolled her eyes. Please refrain from trying to get them together. I don't want my Naruto-sama to be scarred for life. Urami-sama, that's rude. Makoto-kun and Naruto-sama got along just fine. They couldn't have gotten along in the slightest. The very act of getting along implies interaction. Urami-sama gets along with Makoto-kun, Kotonoha pouted. As long as you keep it inside that bag. Him, Urami-sama. As long as you keep him. Urami stared at her attendant for a long moment. I need some fresh air. Opening the door, she was stunned by meeting an overly familiar face. Her nose not more than an inch from hers. Yo. After the initial shock, the flustered Urami quickly escaped 3 steps away. Yuria, she hissed. Just what are you trying to do? I live to please. The older sister was grinning maliciously. Yo, Kotonoha. Yuria-sama. The taller woman bowed politely. That's some fantastic tail power there. Ahaha, thanks. Yuria grinned widely, scratched the back of her head. That's when Urami noticed. Urami was exactly 10 centimeters taller than Yuria. There was no way her sister should be able to stand nose to nose with her. To solve this apparent impossibility, Yuria resorted to standing on her long and surprisingly strong tails. Her feet weren't touching the floor in the slightest. That's a curious trick you got there, sister, Urami stated as she, after regaining her composure, walked past her and outside her bedroom as originally intended. Yuria grinned some more and followed Urami, using her tails as some sort of pseudopodia. Yeah, you may call me Doc Yuria, the 3 tails grinned. Wouldn't want me to smack your face with one of this, huh? Urami said nothing, but saw the wisdom in her sister's words. Physical attacks with those tails would surely carry a lot of power. Urami also knew for a fact that Yuria had been using chakra the whole morning for the punishment she inflicted upon Yurio. So how was it? Kotonoha, who was following Urami, and the tail walker from a distance, smiled gently. Naruto-sama is a fine young man, well-mannered in a curiously rustic way, very energetic, very strong, outstanding reflexes, outstanding chakra capacity. I am still amazed by that shadow clone technique. It is a fascinating technique, that one. Urami admitted. Indeed. Huh? What's that about? Yuria inquired. Naruto-sama has a ninja technique that allows him to create perfect corporeal duplicates of himself. They are extremely fragile, but besides that, they are identical to the original. Oh, the shortest girl mused. Cool. So, Urami insisted. Can you get him ready to win his fight? Definitely not. Urami stopped. She turned around to look at her guardian. Explain. Urami-sama, I cannot correct years of deficient learning in a week. Kitsune jutsu are out of the question, and so is my kenjutsu. There is absolutely nothing I can teach that boy, especially not when he is lacking in so many areas. As he is right now, he doesn't stand a chance unless he uses the easy way out. Noticing the inquiring looks on the two sisters' face, Katanoha sought out a place to sit. The Higashiyama Shrine consisted of a complex of traditional wooden houses separated by zones of pristine greenery. To minimize stepping on the grass and flowers, cobbled stone paths connected the different houses, with the occasional stone bench every here and there. Katanoha picked one of these. Urumi claimed the one in front, across the 2 feet wide stone path. Yuria stood behind Urumi's bench, leaning forward. Naruto-sama could easily summon me and ask me to defeat his opponent in his stead. It's a perfectly valid strategy, and it would guarantee his victory. There is no human that can avoid the bloody conclusion. I do not think Naruto-sama wants to kill anyone, Urumi stated. Katanoha shrugged. In any case, summon Kitsune would allow him to win very easily, but I am sure you know Naruto-sama will never do such a thing. Urumi didn't say anything. He did not say it himself, but I could tell. This fight is of personal significance to him. She chuckled. He is in many ways like Yuria-sama. It is quite unsettling, Urumi-sama. Shut up, Urumi moaned. That was a thought she really wanted to avoid. I do remember the reports my sister sent on his development, Katanoha explained. Rock bottom, dead last of his class. Subpar Taijutsu, chakra control and throwing accuracy. The circumstances of his graduation still remain unknown. By all means, he should not have passed the Shinobi Academy. Quite sad if you ask me. Yuria had never paid attention to those reports. The only thing she had needed to know was that some human boy named Naruto had her little sister inside him. Period. It is most unfortunate that my sister did not manage to get much on his growth after graduation. Katanoha continued. What we know is that he has somehow made it to the final step to rise to the next ninja rank. If I had to guess, I would say it's been a combination of decent teamwork, sheer determination and raw luck. But now he has to face a Hyuga. Knowing that neither of the lilies would understand what that meant, she further explained. The Hyuga are the most prominent family in Konohagakure, and the closest thing to nobility Konoha currently has. Their reputation in combat comes from their unique eyes, the Byakugan, which allow them, among other things, to see in all directions and with very long range, and to see the flow of chakra within living beings. They have developed a very special taijutsu style, Juuken, which uses their special eyes and their skillful chakra control to restrict the opponent's chakra flow and damage internal organs with even the lightest touch. From what I learned from Naruto-sama, I can infer that his opponent is a boy very skilled for his age. A young genius of the Hyuga clan, I would say, blessed with enviable talent and a particularly acute pair of Byakugan. Urumi clenched the hem of her yukata. She could feel the oppressive aura her sister released at the sound of that word. Naruto-sama wants to prove that his hard work and determination can defeat natural talent. He wants to prove that, if he wants to, he can do even what at first glance seems to be impossible. He wants to prove that nobody but himself determines whether he's a winner or a loser. And that's why he won't take the easy way out. Silence permeated the air around them, charged with an intangible tension. Urumi clenched her hands, gripping the fabric of her yukata. She was feeling more than a bit uncomfortable by Yuria's presence behind her. It was not the first time Urumi had felt it, of course, but it was especially unnerving being that close. So you're saying he's got no chance? Yuria's voice was more a menacing growl. Aimed at Katanoha, it felt like the swordswoman's life depended on her answer. Katanoha, in no way fazed by the younger Kitsune, returned Yuria's glare with her usual calm, collected face. I said I cannot help him. That will not stop Naruto-sama from trying. He will do his best. We can only hope he finds an answer I could not give him. The heavy silence persisted only until pierced by an external source. Urumi-chan, Yuria-chan, Katanoha-san, lunch is ready Hawa. Yuria had to sigh at that. Hello to you too, Yurin. Hawa wa noi. The second oldest of the lilies rubbed her sore head with her left hand. Her 5 caramel tails sprawled all around her on the wooden floor. She was chuckling, taking the fall, like all of her frequent falls, with plenty of humor. Yurin is unique in that she's the only one in her family whose dark brown fur is of a different color than her natural human hair. She had black hair that flowed freely down her back until the last 7 or so centimeters, where the ends were tied into a single, thin tail. 2 additional braids went down her front all the way until her waist, tied with white tape around halfway down. She had the traditional carmine eyes of her clan, too. They shone with joyful radiance, the eyes of a woman with the soul of a child. You okay? Yuria intervened, walking away from Urumi and towards her elder sister, who had remained seated on the floor, her legs to the sides. She was wearing blue silk pants. Hawawa and fine. Yurien smiled. It was a smile laced with sweetness nobody else Yurien knew could hope to match except maybe her niece Chiuri. Yurien looked down at her cleavage. Yurien's breasts softened the fall. I can't believe you just said that. Teehee. Yurien lightly tapped her head with her knuckles. She fixed her white kimono shirt, making sure it did not show more cleavage than it was meant to. Satisfied with the result after smoothing a few wrinkles on her pants, she got back on her feet, towering 25 centimeters over little Yuria. Mom, another familiar voice arrived, announcing itself somewhere far behind Yurien's back. What's taking you so, Jay? Yuria titled her body to the left to look past her sister. Hello to you too, Uriel. Stay away from me, eek. At a speed that astounded everyone present, one of Yuria's tails grew at least 6 times its length to tickle the skin under Yurio's chin. Ah, sorry. My tails sometimes act as if they had minds of their own. They seem to like you, Yuria smoothly commented while her tail retracted back to its original length. Bitch, Yurien's black-haired daughter spat under her breath. So, Yurimi intervened before things went out of hand. Lunchtime, I presume, Yurien Nisama. That's just right, Yurimi-chan. Yurien turned her back to her younger sister to make her way back to the dining room. Let's go Hawa. Massive wincing ensued. Yurio sighed. Mom, Yuria chuckled. Don't worry, Ryo-chan. Her breasts softened the fall. Hawawa. There was silence in the clearing. Naruto had his everything put into keeping the small chakra core stable. He had surprised himself by managing to downsize the original chakra sphere into an object the size of an eyeball. However, he could feel his veins throbbing under his forehead and the sweat trailing down his body. It was very demanding. Easy, but demanding. Hey, Sayuri, I've been wondering. This thing, it's black, right? Yup, it's pewetty. Shiny. Exactly. How can a black object be shiny? Majiu. Why not? It's shiny. That's the problem. It shouldn't be shiny. But it is. But it shouldn't. Black objects do not reflect light, they absorb it. Well, unless it's some sort of metallized stuff or something I think, but this isn't metal. Hell, it isn't even solid. Did ISN't even matter? He paused to take in oxygen. Even worse. For some reason this thing is all pushing me down and stuff. Look, even the ground is cracking under my feet. It's like some sort of wacky anti-gravity pull. He paused again, this time to frown. And since when do I understand crazy-ass physics? What the hell am I talking about? What the hell is going on? Oni-chan, the ball. Fuck. Naruto hurriedly returned to taking care of the chakra sphere. Phew, that was close. Good call, Sayuri. Oni-chan, you're really weird sometimes. I know, I don't recognize myself anymore. Naruto rolled his eyes, in yet another out-of-character display of responsible mental development. And you're the last person I will take that from. So he made a gesture with his head, pointing at the sphere. What now? Eat it. Silence. A flock of crows flew somewhere in the distance, cawing in a rather annoying manner. What? Eat it. Sayuri plainly repeated. More silence. No, I think I wasn't clear enough. What? Eat it. Hell no. Eek. Maju Oni-chan scored me. What's wrong? What's wrong? Naruto cried back in furious exasperation. You asked me to eat this thing. It's the next step. I can't eat this thing, Sayuri. Munai. Why not? What do you think will happen if I eat it? It gets big inside Oni-chan and makes Oni-chan big and wound. It will be funny. Funny. Lethal funny. Naruto shouted. It would kill me. No. Sayuri was shaking her head stubbornly. It doesn't hoot Sayuri. Why would it hoot Oni-chan? Naruto felt a very strong urge to bury his face in his palms. He forced himself to calm down. I'm not eating that thing, Sayuri. Then how is Oni-chan gonna make the pewetty beam? Naruto's sweat dropped. Just how does that work anyway? Well, I eat it and keep my mouth ali shut. When I open my mouth, the pewetty beam comes out. It's pewetty. You say that word way too much. Naruto muttered in response. However, he got the idea. He could see how and why it would come out as a beam. It's sorta like a balloon. Majuo. He stared at the chakra core. He had to replace his own body with something else to contain the sphere. A shadow clone would not work, for obvious reasons. The other obvious solution was chakra, but he needed a cover strong enough to contain the sphere and its growth. Sayuri, I need your chakra. Munai. Sure. Much to Naruto's satisfaction, Sayuri did learn from previous experiences, better controlling her chakra release this time. Happy to know no more wildlife would be accidentally slain that day, Naruto got to work, directing Sayuri's, now his, chakra from his hands towards the tiny sphere floating in front of him. It amazed him how ridiculously easy to control this orange chakra was. Sayuri's control is simply abysmal. Naruto nodded in satisfaction when he had a sphere of orange chakra with diameter approximately equal to his own height plus a head. He did not know how big that tiny ball would get before he fired it, after all. It was a surprising display of forethought. He's been making a lot of surprising displays these past 2 days. Alright, let's hope this thing works. Wow, the Tewari beam. Oni-chan, you're really smart. Whoa, I'm fairly sure that was the very first time somebody said that to me. Let's hope it won't be the last. Wow, hi. Wiggle, wiggle. Taking a deep breath, Naruto focused on his 2 creations. He could actually hear the drum roll in his mind. Release control of the ball. Open a hole in the shell. Release ball. Open hole. Release. Open. Release. Open. Alright. Naruto slapped his cheeks. Oh. Ahaha, sorry. Naruto refocused. Alright, let's do this. And Maju Sayuri ignored the bit of pain on her own cheeks and focused on the matter at hand. 2. Ni Oni-chan. What are you gonna hit with the Pewari beam? Those fugly faces on the mountain. Go. Wait, wah. Unfortunately, his mind reacted to both Sayuri's words and his commands, releasing the high-density chakra sphere, and opening a hole on the outer orange chakra shell aimed straight at the Hokage mountain. Oshi. That was as far as Naruto managed to say before the world became white. He managed to think a lot, though. It came out. I hate you. I hate you so much. So very much. So much my skin hurts. No, wait, that's my skin being fucking disintegrated. Maju. Aburame Shino truly cared for his teammates. However, he was not one to play matchmaker. He did hope Hinata would one day find the guts to speak her mind, but he would not help her. She had asked him to keep tabs on Naruto and this mysterious woman. He would do it, not for Hinata, but because it was his job, information gathering. Also, there was just something about that woman that made both him and his hive feel uneasy. It had nothing to do with her jaw-dropping bust. Really, this was one of those times in which he wished his insects could actually speak. So what now? Tiba, hands behind his head on puppy on top, wondered. Yamanaka flower. Huh? Tiba stared oddly at his partner. Ino. Yes. Why the hell? Shino was about to deign himself to answer. The hive would not let him. Like an icy arrow to the chest, the entire insect colony cried as one, for they were one. Duck, Shino yelled. It was the loudest he had ever spoken. It was loud enough to stun his partner or more like worry him. No, Shino. Tiba pointed at the pet shop they were passing by. Those are rabbits. In the blink of an eye, the white beam of pure, condensed chakra struck the right cheek of the first Hokage, and the village hidden in the leaves was cloaked in white. Hundreds of villagers, both civilian and shinobi, cried in unison when they were struck both blind and deaf by the light and subsequent explosion. About 1,700 meters west from the mountain, Naruto was blown backwards by Newton's third law, the intense heat released by the now unstable chakra core searing his skin. All windows in a 600-meter radius shattered and rained upon the populace of Konohagakure. The most fragile houses in the vicinity of the mountain collapsed as an aftereffect of the concussive wave generated by the explosion. The beam easily melted through the solid rock, boring through the Shodai Hokage's face with utmost ease. While the venerable face of the founder of Konoha cracked and fell apart, the Pewari beam followed with its ascending trip by trimming the spiky locks of the Nidaime. The quasi-pyramidal rocks joined the rain of debris caused by the total destruction of the Shodai's face. Fortunately, most of these larger rocks fell on the small forested area behind the administration building. Unfortunately, they fell close enough to scare the shit out of the third Hokage and his employees, as well as drown them in a cloud of dust. The next victim was the Sandaime's face. However, the weakened and unstable beam, instead of piercing through like it did with the other two, began to tilt and trace an irregular line on its surface. It managed to break the nose before giving away and ceasing its path of destruction with a mighty explosion that finished the job with the third face. The Yondaime was the only fortunate one. Curiously enough, it took a few seconds for every person to realize it was over. When it happened, there was chaos, a threnody of voices with mixed thoughts and words, all riddled with a single emotion. Terror. What the hell was that? It's the Russians. The Russians are here. What the hell is a Russian? The Uchiha have risen from their graves to kill us all. And they have lasers. Zombie laser UCHIHAS. It's Godzilla. Godzilla, I tell you. My ex has gone insane. She's gonna kill us all. Finally, my dark sexual rituals have paid off. Go, Azatov, raise the world to ashes. Help me EIRIIN. Shino and Kiba were slowly getting back on their feet, their honed senses carefully looking for a threat that did not exist. Kyuubi has returned to finish the job. We're all gonna die. A man to Shino's left screamed. The bug user almost sighed. Do you see a giant fox somewhere around here? Eh? The man desperately looked for the gigantic frame of the nine-tailed demon fox as he remembered. The awareness of its absence did not relieve him in the slightest. Shino actually frowned when the man's drooling face became a rictus of abject horror. Oh my god, Kyuubi is invisible. There is no hope. Shino face-bombed. What the fuck was that? What makes you think I know? Shino responded to Kiba's low-voiced question. Let's go. We have to find Kurenai-sensei. We'll have to help calm the civilian population. It is up to the ANBU to deal with whatever did this. Oh, yeah. The two made to the rooftops and towards the first place they could think of, the administration building. Their eyes were on the cracking faces and the large chunks of rock raining down upon the village. Oh, pain, agony. Naruto was buried face down in a nearby formation of bush in the forest beyond the clearing where he had been training. Unburying his head from the greenery, his keen eyes easily noticed the disaster he had unleashed upon Konoha via the mountain-tall cloud of dust and debris, and the unrecognizable features of the monument. Holy, flying, fuck, Buu Sayuri made her voice known again. See, not enough chakra. Something within Naruto died a very horrible, violent death. Some would call it his innocence, but it really was not that. What? If I had done it then it wouldn't have come out like that. Sayuri explained smugly, or as smugly as Sayuri can be. There would have been a Wea Halley Big Boom, and that's it. And there would not be a mountain left, or a village, and the forest would be on fire. That's not something to be proud of. Yuck. Majuo. Naruto suddenly reached a very important conclusion. The Yondaime had done the entire world a very big favor. But Oni-chan really got it. That's good, White. Oni-chan learned the Pewetty Beam. The Oni-chan. The Pewetty Beam. Wasn't it great? It wasn't great at all. Look at what it did. Oh god, I hope nobody got hurt. Ai-am idly patted her father's shoulder. He was on his knees, his face buried in his hands. He was crying inconsolably. The girl's face was strangely solemn, as if trying to make something of the bizarre reality she was facing. Their house, their pride, was in ruins, crushed by the third Hokage's nose. Curiously enough, the ramen restaurant was mostly intact. It was the rooms beyond which had been reduced to broken debris. She knew there was something hilarious in watching your home and almost everything that is important to you being crushed by a giant nose. But she guessed chuckling would be a very bad idea. The customers who had been present when the tragedy occurred stepped closer to comfort the broken man. Meanwhile, Akitsune's gears were turning fast. The only reason she did not smile was because it would have been unsightly under the circumstances. I can work with this, she muttered only to herself. Within the deep recesses of the twofold mind, much to the true I-am's fear, one Katsura Kokoro was cackling maniacally. Naruto-kun, you've just got yourself a roommate. But it was Oni-chan who aimed that way. But I didn't want to. Whoopsies. I hate my life. Naruto shook his head. Anyway, I can't use that against Neji. Why not? Are you really asking? Naruto's mind voice exclaimed. I don't want to blast away my village in the process. Or Neji. Then why did Oni-chan ask Sayuri to teach him jutsu? Sayuri only knows jutsu that make things explode. Or people. Or set them on fire. Naruto twitched. What do you? He paused. Okay, I set that one upon myself. His danger sense warned him of an incoming threat in time for him to hide in the bushes right before a squadron of 4 ANBU arrived on the scene. Oh shit. It was not very hard for them to find the place. They only had to follow the direction the white beam came from until they found a smoking crater. While they made an initial examination of the clearing, Naruto's eyes narrowed. Alright, they're ANBU. I can get away from these guys, I've done it before. 2 more figures showed up in the clearing, one clearly smaller than the other. I'm so completely and utterly fucked. Jayo, dogs, they must. You're not burning anyone. Majuo, Inuzu Katsume and Kiramaru sniffed the air together, which only led to the two of them frowning pronouncedly. Or at least what passes for frowning on a dog. Kiramaru, yes, me too. What is it? A tiger-masked ANBU, apparently the one in charge of the team of 4, inquired. The Inuzuka Jounin stared down at her canine partner. We have nothing. We have our own scent, and those of you 4, as well as the smoke here. We can barely feel anything besides that. Kiramaru explained, looking up at Tsume, who nodded in agreement. Either something here is somehow dampening our senses of smell, Tsume continued, or whoever did this managed to eliminate all traces of himself and everything around us, for that matter. In the distance, Naruto was worried. They should have found me by now. What are they talking about? What Naruto did not know was that the pretty beam destroys everything in its way. Everything means everything. That includes any and all volatile odorant molecules in the air. The higher concentration in the firing point further extends this effect for a short period of time after firing. Talk about a convenient jutsu. What Naruto did know is that, if he had not been found, then he had a chance. Grinning to himself and praising his intermittently superb stealth skills, Naruto made his way around the perimeter of Konoha. However, he was not stupid, well, not so stupid so as to not keep in mind that it would be a matter of time before someone showed up before him to ask him question. After all, he was the #1 suspect of anything and everything wrong that happened in his village. He needed an alibi. He called it an excuse, of course, as he does not know the word alibi. Ka whoosh. Wow, hi, I did it. Wiggle, wiggle. What the hell was that? Sayuri burned the scene weak line. Why? The what? Wait, you know what? Forget it. Let's just go. Ka whoosh. Why? Again. Whatever you're doing, stop it. After it became clear that they were dealing with an isolated event instead of a full-scale attack, the shinobi's job became considerably easier. Still, dispelling the atmosphere of fear that permeated the streets of Konoha was not something that could be done in an hour or two, much less half. So what now? Inuzuka Kiba inquired. They had barely spoken with Kurenai long enough for her to give them the obvious instructions and disappear via Shunshin. Shino did not respond, for his eyes were following the incoming path of the 2 male members of Team 10. He noticed they were coming from the main disaster area, the foot of the Hokage mountain. He only opened his mouth when Shikamaru and Choji stopped on the same rooftop as him and his teammate. Your orders? Shikamaru shrugged. We were supposed to help clear the debris over there. Shino did not need to inquire to get further explanation. Nothing much we can do, really. Civilian volunteers directed by the ADC are handling it, and there's a horde of Naruto clones helping. I swear I saw like 100. Oi, guys. From the opposite direction came the 2 currently healthy females amongst the rookie 9. Ignored by her Jounin teacher and forgotten by her teammates, Haruno Sakura found herself with a sudden increase in her free time. Not having anything better to do, she seized the chance to rekindle her old friendship with Yamanaka Ino. The attack had caught them by the counter of the Yamanaka flower shop, putting a loud, messy end to their girl talk. What's up, Shino-kun? Ino heartily greeted the bug user, her full-toothed smile almost blinding in its radiance. Shino-kun. These were the thoughts of everyone present. Echanandi. Shino made a wordless noise and pointed behind him at the remains of the Hokage mountain, with 2 of its faces utterly destroyed and another getting an army haircut. Yeah, we kinda noticed it already. Ino turned to her lazy partner. Did you meet with Asuma-sensei? Yeah, Shikamaru responded caustically, rolling his eyes. What took you so long to show up anyway? Sensei wasn't happy. Well, what do you think? Ino stubbornly placed her hands on her hips. The explosion made the shop a big mess. There was nothing but dirt and broken pottery and flowers spilled everywhere. And then we had to calm down the neighbors. Sakura intervened. Yeah, that too. Sheesh, going off with silly crap about Kyubai's return or something. While Choji made quick work of a potato chip. That was no ordinary jutsu, that's for sure. I know that. But really, do you see a big-ass fox of doom somewhere out here? Ino insisted. Kiba chuckled. Maybe he's invisible. He mouthed so that only Shino noticed. Anyway, Shikamaru continued. Sensei asked us to help clean up the debris, but that job's pretty much taken by Naruto and the ADC. Naruto, Sakura exclaimed. He is. Her surprised expression soon changed to unexplainable anger. That little arg. What? Ino honestly wondered. What do you mean what? Sakura barked back. I haven't seen the little idiot this entire month. And now he shows up like that. Ino frowned. So what? I'd say the guy's been busy. He has to fight that Hyuga Neji, right? And now he's come back from his training to help Konoha. Shino continued. Which, I may add, is what we should be doing. Kiba grinned. That's kinda cool from the idiot, huh? Akamaru nodded in agreement. Ino turned from Kiba to Choji, who, she noticed, was about to speak as he had stopped emptying his current bag of chips, especially since the civilians are blaming him for that much. For some reason. Wait, what? Surprisingly enough, this was Ino. Yup, Shikamaru nodded. Pretty nasty words they were throwing at him back there. And rocks, too. Troublesome stuff. I don't think the real Naruto was there, though. Only clones. The ADC got rid of the nastier guys. Naruto's pretty much cleaning the whole damn thing by himself. Ino gasped in outrage. Are they stupid? I know Naruto's done his share of pranks, but really, you'd need some serious firepower to do that. She debated, pointing at the damaged monument. So, what did he do? Kiba asked. You know, the usual. Shikamaru replied. Forced laughter, stupid grin, back to job. Pretty mature if you ask me. Realizing she did not have any support in her latest temper tantrum, Sakura wisely chose to shut up. She still was unreasonably angry at Naruto, though. The following minutes were a discussion of what the rookies should do. Their Jounin teachers were busy meeting with the Hokage and his advisors, discussing the plans for the aftermath of this mysterious event. Aid would have to be provided to those who lost their homes and/or workplaces. Communication would be crucial to calm down the scared citizens and ensure that no invisible Kyuubi had not returned with a vengeance. Plans had to be made to restore the monument. While at first glance it seems a monumental waste of money, the fact remained that the mountain was the symbol of Konohagakure and its banner of strength. The symbolic significance of the destruction of the faces was a blow to the people's morale. The only thing comparable would be, like, kidnapping all of Konoha's messenger birds and make them crash on the Hokage Tower until it toppled down or something. The point is, the attack made Konoha seem vulnerable. It was an insult to its pride and history, hence, it had to be corrected. Unfortunately, it was obvious to anyone that the faces could never be restored in time for the Chunin finals. The honored dignitaries would be welcomed by 2 inexistent faces and Nidam. The exams could not be postponed or cancelled, so this would be a blow Konoha would have to face. Sarutobi knew he would be the target of many taunts and sneers very soon. The most the rookies could do was to deal with any outbursts of civilian unrest and wait for further instructions. Hey, did you say the IDC? Ino suddenly wondered. Shikamaru nodded. Well, if they know how to blow shit up, they surely must know how to clean up the mess afterwards. Amino nodded, satisfied. Makes sense. So if Naruto the real one, if Naruto isn't there with them, then where is he? Shikamaru shrugged. Hey, I just said I think he's not there. It's not like I can distinguish the clones from the real one. Not even my beetles can. Shino interjected. It is an impressive technique. Kiba released a naughty grin. Maybe he's still with the hot chick. Silence. Shino slowly, very slowly, clenched and flexed his hands, doing the inhumanly possible not to close them around his teammate's neck. They were supposed to wait until they were alone with Ino. Sekura blinked. What? Naruto nodded to himself as yet another shadow clone dispersed. It was a good idea to send those to help clear up the mess. As expected, more than a few people were blaming the demon brat for this latest event. It was mildly amusing to know that, for once, they were right. It had been a devastating sight. He would have to make it up in some way to those that got hurt. It was somehow relieving that there were no casualties reported so far. Lots of property damage, though. In yet another training area, this one as far from ground zero as topologically possible, Naruto pondered his next move. He had learned a new jutsu which, for very obvious reasons, he could not use. Needless to say, he would save it for whenever he needed to obliterate a few acres of land, or a really big enemy. Konoha's concluding remarks resounded in his tormented mind. My most profound apologies, Naruto-sama, but, as you are right now, there is nothing I can do for you. Not only are your skills lacking, Urumi-sama has obviously overestimated my own. Nothing I know I can teach you in time for you to use it at your upcoming fight. Naruto admired and appreciated Konoha's humility and honesty. He really did. But that did not change the fact that it sucked. Oh, Oni-chan, be happy. I don't like it when Oni-chan's all sad. It makes Sayuri sad. Sayuri, I have nothing. Naruto went emo for an instant there. Konoha-san pretty much said I can't beat Neji. She said I suck. Sayuri doesn't care if Oni-chan's bad at fighting. Sayuri still loves Oni-chan lots. Naruto twitched. Thank you, Sayuri. I feel much better now. Really? Wow, hi. Absolutely not. Majuu. How? What do I do now? He didn't regret leaving Jiraiya. Because, really, the cliff thing was just wrong. But he was simply out of ideas. Who could teach him cool techniques to beat Neji with only 8 days left? Our tails are the channels through which we direct out chakra. Without tails, I simply cannot teach you even the simplest energy technique all Kitsune know, the Kitsune fire. You clearly say you know no other techniques, from which I infer you have to skill with ninja illusory techniques. Without even that, it's pointless to try to teach our Kitsune illusory arts. Enchantments are simply out of the question. The only other thing I know is Kenjutsu, and that cannot be taught in a week. Is there really nothing I can do? Maybe I can turn Oni-chan into a Kitsune. Please don't. Naruto immediately responded in a deadpan tone. Majuu half Kitsune. No, Majiraru. But there has to be a way. Naruto returned to his musing. I must become stronger. Why not try summoning? Yeah, like, summon Kitsune until we find one that can teach Oni-chan cool things. Naruto was about to retort, but he found himself making a pause. That's actually a pretty good idea. No, it is not. Why? Sayuri helped Oni-chan. Teehee. Wiggle, wiggle. Of course, they failed to realize that so far Naruto had only summoned friendly Kitsune, who were actually on their side. Even then, Naruto still almost got killed. What if the next Kitsune he summoned was not as nice? What if the next Kitsune could not care less about Naruto? What if he or she tried to manipulate Naruto, like, you know, Kitsune often do? Then again, it is Naruto. And Sayuri. That does not make things much better. In fact, she probably makes things worse. Yosh, let's do it. Wai, summon a new F-Wind. Right? Kuchio's no Jutsu. The cloud of smoke that emerged was surprisingly small. So was the silhouette Naruto managed to see within the smoke. He at least got a gender when the one hidden in smoke spoke. It was a clearly feminine voice. For an instant, he wondered just where all the male Kitsune were. Then there were her words. Uest. Ha-ah. When the smoke dispersed, it revealed an unusual sight. She was in her full human form, her ears and tail being absent. Her shoulder-length hair was adorned by a big red ribbon, and she was wearing a plain white sundress. A pair of big blood-red eyes stared at Naruto in plain astonishment. Huh? Did you summon me? Naruto blinked, and spoke without thinking. No surprise there. Damn, you're tiny. Punition. Next thing he knew, Naruto was being electrocuted. Gwa-eog. Majiu. The tiny fox girl rolled her eyes as she moved her hand away from Naruto's body. Too loud. It's just comedy lightning. Comedy lightning. Defined as electricity used solely for comedic effect and, as such, not lethal or even capable of causing lasting damage. On the floor, Naruto twitched. The girl started at the fallen blonde and frowned. He is familiar. Who are you, and how and why did you summon this Kira Setsuna-sama? She bent her body forward, leaning her round face awkwardly close to his. Your answer will decide whether or not I kill you before I leave. Eek. Oh oi. Naruto rushed to get on his feet. What the hell? You can't just threaten me like that, you chibai. Insolent. Pzzt. Jaya. Maji. Back to the ground. Pathetique so. Your answer. Ugh, damn it, I'm Uzumaki Naruto. Setsuna blinked. Uzumaki Naruto. Then you are the Nine Tails. Naruto blinked groggily. You know Sayuri. I don't know her. She's a Umwini. Setsuna blinked again. Sayuri. Sayuri could it be? From the Higashiyama clan. Yahoof. What the hell? Naruto's attempt at getting up was completely neutralized when Setsuna sat on his torso. Explain. Now. Well then. Hands on her hips, Ayame nodded in satisfaction. She had just arrived to her new home. After ensuring there was only a single bedroom, she moved to the kitchen and made sure Kotonoha had been thorough in her disposal of any and all packages of instant ramen in the place. Naruto had already done enough damage by exposing little Sayuri to the damn thing without previous warning. She was considering cleaning the place Naruto called home when insistent knocks on the front door interrupted her. They were not precisely unexpected, however. The ANBU had finally shown up, looking for answers. Ayame had obviously seen Naruto's latest stunt. That blinding light that cloaked everything in white as it did a fine job of the Hokage mountain could only be Sayuri's trademark Pewetty beam. An extremely toned-down version, of course, but a Pewetty beam nonetheless. Kokoro still remembered the first and only time she had witnessed the Pewetty beam. It had been, in fact, less than 2 months before Sayuri was sealed. She still wondered how the humans seemed to remain completely oblivious to the fact that half of a fucking entire mountain range was missing. She guessed there was some deity-level reality rewriting involved. So, yes, she was expecting the ANBU. Really, Naruto, couldn't you have aimed, I don't know, anywhere but at Konoha? Ayame rolled her eyes. Really, there are, like, 250 other degrees to choose from. That's 4/3 of pi radians. And that's just in a single plane. I don't want to go into solid angles. Taking a deep sigh, she readied herself. This is gonna hurt a little after we're done. Ayame-chan. Henge, she whispered. It was odd, using the Kitsune transformation technique to change into a form identical to her Kitsune self. It felt like a waste, but it was not like she could just leave her human body or use Ayame's identity for something like this. With her 176 centimeters of height, she was still 2.5 shorter than her sister. Needless to say, her 93 centimeters of bust did not get even close to Kotonoha's formidable size. Not that Kokoro wanted to. Really, she was more than happy with her excellent body proportions. Smaller, narrower eyes and finer lips distinguished her face from her sister's, as well as a much shorter mane of black hair, barely reaching past her shoulders. It was the style she had used since her earliest years and she saw no reason to change it. Hell, she still had her 2 horizontal antennae. Unlike Setsuna's hair, which was denser and more rigid, Kokoro's looked far more fluid, just like her sister's. She looked down at the clothes she had picked for her transformation, as they were crucial for her little plot. T-shirt and white lace panties, nothing more. Not like more was needed. Of course, it was not just any t-shirt. Naruto's black t-shirt, due to his much shorter frame, became rather form-fitting when clad by her more curvaceous body. Coming, Kokoro paused, and then chuckled. "Oh, you naughty girl, you." The two ANBU behind the door raised an eyebrow together. Kokoro skillfully opened the door just enough to poke out her head and her left leg, offering an eyeful to the two obviously male shinobi. Not that gender would have made a difference if she got serious. "Oh no," she began, her shy, demure tone honed by decades of practice. She could even blush at will. She did not even need to modify her henge for that. She could have, of course, only the most skilled humans could hope to detect a well-crafted kitsune henge. "I hope you don't mind that I keep the door like this. I'm kinda underdressed right now." She lowered her gaze for a few seconds for added effect. Looking back up, she paid more attention to the masks. Kat-san and her facade dropped. "What the hell are you?" "Aardvark." Kokoro stared. "Aardvark. Aardvark." The ANBU repeated. Kokoro could actually feel the poor lad blushing under the scrutiny. She turned to the other one. "New guy?" she asked, her left index pointing at Aardvark. Kat nodded silently. Kokoro could also feel the smirk under his mask. Giving utterly ridiculous masks to their new recruits for their first month at the job was an old and well-known ANBU tradition. The division actually had a little competition on who could come up with the most outrageous rookie mask. On a side note, the platypus is not permitted. The little interlude done and over with, Kokoro quickly donned her mask of shyness and alluring cuteness, and the ANBU became suddenly aware that, instead of Naruto, they had been received by an astoundingly gorgeous brunette. So Kokoro twiddled her indexes together. "You ANBU-san, you're here to see Naruto-kun." Yes," Kat responded for the two. "Please get Naruto-san for us, miss." Can Naruto-kun take a rain check on that, ANBU-san? He's sleeping right now and I don't really want to wake him up. He's had a rough month," and she lowered her head bashfully. "He worked very hard." She took her hands to her cheeks to hide the growing blush. Somehow the ANBU did not like where this was going. "Sleeping, you say?" Kokoro nodded. "For 2 hours or so already. Not even the big explosion woke him up." She made her cutest puzzled look. "What was that about anyway? I was so surprised." "Oh, I see." The two ANBU shared a glance. Uzumaki Naruto seemed to have an alibi. "And you say you have been with him this whole time, miss?" Kokoro smiled shyly, but nodded, her head kept low. "Since last night." The ANBU went awfully rigid at that. "No, it could not be. I apologize for the rudeness, but it is important for us to know Uzumaki Naruto's latest activities, for the sake of our investigation." "Ugh." Kokoro willed her face to become awfully red, her eyes like a scared kitten, making the two shinobi feel awful. This is so embarrassing." An idle finger began to trace random figures on the doorframe. Aardvark gulped when Kokoro pressed her breasts against the wooden frame. "I was Naruto-kun." Her voice went quieter with every word. "Naruto-kun made me into a woman." Kokoro buried her face in her hands. "Kaya, I said it." Slam. The door was closed in front of the two blushing ANBU. Her voice could still be heard beyond the door, though. "I can't believe I said that. It was so perverted, so erotic, so embarrassing. Kaya, and such a dirty woman." The two ANBU shot odd looks at each other through their masks, doing their best to ignore the chorus of squeals from inside the apartment. Can we please just get out of here, Kat?" Kat nodded eagerly. "Uzumaki Naruto has an alibi. A very lax investigation. The bastard." I had heard the rumor that Inari-sama had given 9 tails to the youngest girl of Higashiyama, but I thought it was just a stupid joke. To think she's the one sealed inside a Jinchuriki. This will alter the plans. It also gives validity to Madara's story. There's no way in hell he could have dominated a Kyuubi unless it was a stupid child. "Excuse me." Setsuna looked down at the prone boy she was sitting on. "Do you mind? I am thinking out loud for no explainable reason. You're sitting on me, and you are awfully comfortable, I must say. Be proud of yourself." "The hell? You are being useful to Setsuna-sama. It is something to be proud of. Who the hell do you think you are, you little?" A spark popped out of Setsuna's left index finger, and Naruto squeaked like a little girl. "Yuck. You wonderful, beautiful, lovely kitsune. I'll keep my mouth shut." "Good. And you shall address me as Kira-sama." "Understood." Hi. Pizzi-te. Setsuna poked Naruto's neck and zapped him. Majuo. "One yes is enough." "Yes, ma'am." Pizzi-te. "Gak, Mujai. I'm a young, blossoming maiden. Don't be rude." Hi, Kira-sama. Setsuna looked around at the forested place they were at. "So this is Konoha. I presume it's a training area of some sort. Am I mistaken, Boya?" "Yeah, it's a training area. The village is that way." The tiny girl followed Naruto's eye. Of course, she couldn't see anything but the silhouette of a mountain in the distance. A very damaged mountain. "Can you explain that? I am quite certain that mountain is not supposed to look like that." On Naruto's sweat dropped. Ahaha, the mountain, I might have blown it up just a little. Setsuna raised an eyebrow. Naruto was just trying not to look at her milky white thighs on his chest. May I ask why? Amahaha, no reason. Setsuna closed her eyes. Naruto's body froze when her lower body shifted a bit. The way some parts of her better unnamed were rubbing against him were making him very uncomfortable. That is, Setsuna actually blushed a little. That's kinda hot. Naruto coughed. Wait, 2 blanks. You get off on random, pointless destruction. Yes, I do. Setsuna had the decency to avert her eyes from Naruto. Kokoro chuckled the whole way to the living room, letting herself fall on the sofa face up. Ahahaha, oh wow, that was fun. It was good to be a kitsune. Sure, she was getting Naruto in unnecessary trouble, but really, he deserved it. She had offered herself to him for Inari's sake. She did, however, intend to correct that situation in the following days. They were going to live together, something had to happen, right? With a long, deep sigh, Kokoro relaxed her body, embracing herself for what was to come, the price of using kitsune powers in a weak human frame. You ready, I am Chan? After she got a positive response, Kokoro dispelled the transformation. The pain struck almost immediately and Kokoro did not hesitate to flood her human host's body with her healing chakra to at least alleviate the agony for poor Iam, who obviously had a much lower pain threshold. Being a human and all, she was sure she had not used more than 6 or 7 jutsu in all the years she had possessed Iam. However, she had already used 2 in a span of hours. It was a sign that things were changing. Only time would tell if they were changing for the better. However, no matter what happened, a constant remained. When Kokoro left Iam's body, the young human girl would die. It was Kokoro's chakra which kept her alive, after all. Iam always insisted, saying she had had a very enjoyable life, even if it was through Kokoro's actions using her body. Even if that was true, Kokoro still hoped she could give the ramen girl a little bit of real happiness before the end. It was the least she could do and, truth be told, she had grown fond of the human girl. She was in the middle of comforting the aching, sobbing Iam within when an unexpected but familiar presence entered the apartment through the gap of the open window. Its pearly, elongated translucent figure floated like a feather in the air above Iam. Hyuga Jitsune. The minor fox spirits with long, pipe-like bodies acted as familiars for kitsune. Lacking great powers, they were, however, blessed with an ethereal form that allowed them to be invisible to anyone but whomever they allowed to see them. A message from the matriarch. Very well, I'm here. Naruto took a good look at Setsuna's face. It reminded him of Urami in a way. But, while Urami's face was unchanging because it was expressionless, Setsuna's was because it was fixed in a single emotion. Boredom, no matter what she said or did. Besides her initial astonishment at being summoned and her latter excitement at his little blunder, Setsuna looked like she just was not interested in anything. Or maybe just annoyed, it was hard to tell. This could prove useful, Setsuna mused. She had been lost in thought for a minute already. A rather loud growl caught the two unaware. When Naruto realized it didn't come from his stomach, he shot a grin at the little girl. You did not hear that? Sure I didn't. Setsuna's eyes narrowed dangerously. No, you did not. Naruto offered a conciliating fox grin. Right, I didn't. Got it. Setsuna raised an eyebrow, but said nothing more about that. However, I was about to have lunch when you summoned me. Do something about it. Huh? Feed me. Ooh, I guess I can do that. Now could you please? Setsuna silently got off Naruto, allowing him to get back on his feet. Alright, to Ikaraku's. He paused to grimace. He was not supposed to eat ramen, after all. While he was sure she could follow him if he tried ninja dashing. He didn't want to bother her unnecessarily. You don't want to bother someone who can shoot lightning bolts from her fingertips. Besides, he wasn't in much of a hurry, and he was kind of frustrated. Moo, and I wanted someone to help me and teach me cool stuff, he muttered to himself. I summoned her, she should. You, my boy, Setsuna snorted. Are a moron. Wah. He was used to being called names, but it was still rather out of the blue. I have a good pair of ears, Setsuna explained in that bored, low tone of hers. And even if I couldn't hear, I can read lips, too. Moo, that's mean. Whatever. In any case, why do you think I should obey you if it's obvious I'm 1,000 times stronger than you? It took Setsuna almost 3 seconds to realize Naruto had stopped on his tracks. Hey, really, now that you said it, why? Why do summons listen to summoners anyway? I mean, summons are, like, crazy-ass creatures with awesome powers, right? And they're probably stronger than ninja, huh? At least most kitsune I know are stronger than ninja. So, why? Setsuna allowed herself a small smile. There's hope for you yet. Now, move. As they resumed their walk, Setsuna answered Naruto's question. Summoned creatures are not servants. A summoning contract is a bond that demands from both sides. Just like the summons help the summoner, generally by fighting for him, it is expected of the summoner to do something for the summons should they require it. I help you if you help me, so to speak. Naruto nodded. He could actually understand this. Most contracts start in one of two ways. One possibility might be that the boss summon or a creature close able to make a contract sees a potential for usefulness in a particular human, so they agree on making a contract with this human so that they can, 2. Gain whatever could be gained from this person. For example, let's say a particular Kitsune clan wants to gain control of a certain city. They could agree to sign a contract with a human to help him become lord of that city, and this would allow the Kitsune to claim it as a supernatural domain. You with me? Who I think? Who head halts? Setsuna rolled her eyes. The other possibility is that a human somehow does a great service to a creature or an entire group of creatures, so they grant him the power to summon them as a means to show gratitude. Of course, even with all the gratitude in the world, they won't just work for free. The same rule of help you help me still applies. Got it. So the thing is, Kitsune help me and in exchange I help them if they need me, right? Right? Is it the same with you? Naruto made an odd face. Hira-sama. The girl snorted. Of course. I take it you summoned me for a reason. Well, I wanted to summon a Kitsune. Naruto scratched the back of his head sheepishly. So it was completely random. I assume Higashiyama Sayuri gave you the contract. Yup, I'm Guit. Yeah, how did you? Well, she is a Nine-Tails. She has the power to do so. And the fact you summoned me shows that her contract is not restricted to her clan. While Kitsune almost never make contracts with humans, there are well-defined rules concerning them. Only clan leaders can create summoning contracts, and only limited to members of their respective clans and vassal families. The clan leader acts as the boss summoned for that particular contract. Only Kyuubi no Kitsune have the power to create general contracts for any and all Kitsune. Clanless Kitsune cannot make contracts, and are bound by contracts made by Nine-Tailed Kitsune, whether they like it or not. Naruto blinked. So that means Sayuri's my boss summon. Yes, of course, it's not like there's a human with enough chakra to summon a Nine-Tails. Naruto suddenly smiled. Thank you. You're a pretty good sensei, Kira-sama. Setsuna blinked and then blushed bright red, quickly turning her head away. PFFT. What are you saying, idiot? And that was when the ANBU arrived. And that is basically what we saw and heard. Shino finished his debriefing. Don't tell Hinata we told you, Kiba wisely added, as Shino acknowledged by nodding rather eagerly for him. Chaoji had notably dropped the pace at which he normally devoured snacks. Shikamaru looked as bored as ever, but his raised eyebrow showed he was at the very least interested in what had been said. Ino looked as if she had just been told every day was her birthday. Sekira was giving a stronger significance to her name. Her skin's pink tone was so strong nobody would have been surprised if Chaoji had tried to chew her. That she growled. Naaru Yutuu. She yelled at the uncaring sky. That moron, wasting his time with Arg. Her hands made a mess of her hair. I can't even say it. Women, Kiba suggested, his smirk coated with mischievousness. Wog. Sekira's response. Hot women whoa. The other rookies watched mutely how Sekira beat the living crap out of the Inuzuka. After a while, they resumed the conversation. Sekira was still pummeling Kiba, though. We do know that Naruto and the waitress, Ayame, have been friends for several years already. Their being together is not necessarily of special significance, Shino declared. Not that he actually believed that. Not like that will stop her, Ino commented amusedly, pointing at Sekira, who was by now just panting after the carnage. Chaoji was offering his most compassionate look at Kiba. We do not know a thing about the woman, Katanoha, other than what I have just told you. Then I take it you know what must be done now, Shino-kun, Ino responded teasingly, inching closer to rest her left arm on Shino's shoulder. Shino nodded and offered the blonde girl a small smile. Kiba gasped. Sekira was more silent, she just gaped. Shika, what's that black thing over there? Chaoji pointed at something in the air in front of them. A tear in the fabric of the universe. TCH, now that's real troublesome. Shino's face returned to its usual stone-cold demeanor, effectively restoring the tapestry of reality. Yes. Ino was frothing by this point, apparently oblivious to the dangerous unraveling of time-space which had developed in front of them a moment before. Oh my god, this is huge. She jumped over the counter to wrap Shino in a fierce hug, to Sekira's and Kiba's utter horror. Chaoji and Shikamaru only blinked. By this point in life they were ready to expect anything from their female teammate. Shino-kun, you're the best. Yes, I know. Come on, we have to find Naruto. She paused. Forehead, you common with us forehead. Sekira was gone, her face frozen in a rictus of horror. Sekira, Ino insisted. Why? I think she is broken, Shino commented. Nah, you think, Hiba exclaimed. You suddenly come in and Ino gets all girly giddy and huggy and stuff. And you smiled. You smiled, man. Like, seriously creepy. Like, Sasuke and Lace creepy. Oi, Ino complained. My Sasuke-kun is very manly. Hiba's face became deadpan. Sure, he nodded slowly. Very manly. I bow before his manliness. My dick shrinks before his manly presence. Ino made a disgusted face at Kiba's rude language. Wawa Sekira was still in her own crumbling world. Hiba turned back to Shino. Really, what the hell? You smile, and you and Ino act like best girlfriends and shit. And Naruto's got a girl. No, 2 girls. 2 HAWTGURLZ. NARUTO. What's next? Hinata snaps and starts attacking people with sharp, pointy things. At Chu, sitting on the wooden walkways of the Higashiyama residence, the matriarch, Higashiyama Yuri, turned to look at her companion for the afternoon. Having already sent a Kyutajutsun to her informant, Katsura Kokoro, the matriarch of Higashiyama could only wait. Over tea, of course. A cold Katanoha. No Yurumi's bodyguard rubbed her nose while she made an odd, yet cute, face. Not a cold, Yuri-sama. I guess someone must be talking about me or unknowingly making an indirect reference to future events in which I'm somehow involved. Most likely with disastrous, but fairly amusing consequences. Yuri only blinked. Twice. Ooh, okay. Hiba, has anybody told you that you are too loud? Ino commented, still clinging to Shino's neck. Dozens of times, Shino uttered. Arg. Hiba groaned. It's like I don't know you anymore. You've never made any effort to know me. Ever. Uawo. Fuck you, Shino. What the hell? Oh, welcome back. Ino commented on Sekira's sudden outburst. The pink-haired girl only shot an accusing finger at her blonde friend. Hugh, explain. Now. Ino shrugged. What's there to explain? Shino-kun here is my informant. Huh. He feeds me with juicy gossip. I don't know how he does it, but he knows everything that's going on in Konoha all the time. Everything. Sekira mutely shifted her eyes from Ino to Shino. I'm awesome like that, the bug manipulator added. I can't believe this. Sekira was shaking her head. So all this time, your reputation. Yup. Ino nodded. Shino's the one who gets the scoops. I just make sure the whole village knows by the end of 20 minutes. Dude. Shino turned to his teammate. What is it? What do you mean what? Dude. The boy in shades managed to somehow understand what Kiba tried to express. Everyone needs a hobby. Kiba gaped at Shino for the good part of 5 seconds and then sighed. I give up. I give up. Forget I said anything. Just to let you know, no matter what road in life you decide to take, you can count on your teammate. Akamaru barked for good measure. That's good to know, I think. Okay, Sekira rubbed the sides of her head. That's one matter solved. Now, what's this about Naruto? Hiba took the initiative. A chick, Naruto. With the ramen chick. The cute ramen chick. And Katanoha-san, Shino added. That goes without saying. Hiba stopped his eyes in mid-roll. He turned to Sekira. Wasn't he supposed to have a crush on you? Suddenly feeling the center of attention, Sekira tried to shrink herself without success, until she realized Kiba was talking about Naruto. Why what? Who cares about that? She exclaimed, turning away from the others but unable to hide the faint blush or the puffed cheeks. Shino leaned to whisper, is that what they call tsundere? Ino nodded, sporting the widest grin. Not my thing. Ino had to close her mouth with her hands to not laugh. Hiba frowned, suddenly taking a good look at the girl in the red cheongsam. I never really figured that out. I mean, you really don't have much to show. Why? But, now that I think about it, it would explain things. I bet a second staring at Katanoha's tits made him forget all about ya. Why you? Sekira growled with a feral tone that would have been more suitable in an Inuzuka. Shino, however, nodded in agreement. Well, they are huge. Shikamaru and Choji, who were hoping against all hope they could stay away for the madness unfolding in front of them, backed away a few steps, ready to get away at the first chance. They would look for more distressed civilians or Asuma-sensei, or whatever. Ino shot an odd look at her partner in mischief. What? They are really huge. Gigantic, even. I can't believe it you're saying that. Ino responded, a bit miffed. It is unimportant. I am more of an ass person myself. Everybody gaped. Ino inched away from Shino, keeping always her back away from his line of sight. It is slightly late for that. Ino tried not to scream. She failed. Her teammates ran away. If there is something that must be known about the ANBU, it is the following. On approximately 98% of the time, They are complete idiots. The remaining 2% they are totally hardcore badasses, but most of the time they're just morons. This 2% corresponds to circumstances in which the well-being of Konoha is in jeopardy, like, well, a full-scale war situation. The current situation is more like they think Konoha is in danger, but it really isn't, so it doesn't apply. Therefore, they are idiots. That probably explains why a second team of investigators appeared before Naruto and Setsuna, unaware that just a few minutes before another couple had cleared Naruto thanks to Kokoro's little stunt. Or it could just be an unfortunate coincidence. It would not change the fact that they are idiots, though. Uzumaki Naruto. Ugh, yo. Naruto faked a hearty greeting, scratching the back of his head. Setsuna shot a cold stare at the ANBU. We need to ask you some questions. You are Tiger-san and Boar-san. The ANBU nodded. Naruto willed himself to be calmer. They would feel his distress. This is about the mountain, right? Why didn't you ask one of my clones? I have like 100 helping over there. The two ANBU shot uneasy glances at each other. They had honestly never thought about it. But, still, they had to find the real one, right? If they were talking Naruto to HQ for interrogation, that is, clones, Setsuna raised her voice. She could not let these people take Naruto away. You mean, tangible clones? Naruto smiled. Not only was he always willing to brag about his trademark jutsu, but the extra seconds allowed the gears in his head to run wild. Shadow clones. Remind me to show you sometime. Setsuna, a genius among kitsune, conceived a plan of her own much faster than Naruto could even hope to. Her face contorting into a mischievous smirk, she locked her left arm around Naruto's right, even placing her right hand on his forearm and leaning against him. Suddenly, so suddenly it almost scared Naruto, her smirk became a soft, warm, affectionate smile. Maybe you can show me tonight, Onai-to-chan, she said, poking his forearm with every phoneme. Nyuge, Sayuri, whatever you're thinking, don't. Sayuri Anwe, Sayuri Burns. While Sayuri channeled the Hulk and Naruto's mind struggled to keep her down by whispering sweet nothings and empty promises at her, Setsuna faced the two ANBU. These guys were old enough to recognize innuendo, so they got a bit tense as their warped minds tried to establish the association between Naruto and this unknown loli. They also realized it was nigh impossible to read any emotion from her face other than a clear "why the hell are you wasting my time?" We need to discard the possibility of Naruto-san's involvement in the events of earlier today. The mountain. Oni-chan was sleeping when that happened. He is a very heavy sleeper. I had to wake him up to show him. Oni-chan wanted to go, but I didn't want him to leave me. He only left me for a minute. I guess that is when he made these clones he mentioned. Right, Oni-chan? Her voice had been soft and serene the whole time. When she looked at him, Naruto almost fell on his knees to worship his new goddess of bullshitting. Another part of him was terrified beyond belief, though. Sayuri, be quiet, I beg you. We'll talk when these guys are done. Right, sleeping, ahaha. And why would you be sleeping at that time, Naruto-san? Tiger inquired. Huh? Why? Well, Naruto's eyes wandered for a couple of seconds. Because I'm really lazy. Silence. Setsuna suppressed the urge to boil Naruto's internal fluids with lightning. The two ANBU looked at each other. Well, Tiger muttered. It does match our profile of him. Setsuna almost gaped. Complete idiots. Setsuna did manage to recover her composure. Oh, Oni-chan, you're so. Naruto almost flinched at the light slap he got on the arm. All cutesy and nice and stuff, damn she's scary. Oni-chan is Sayuri's Oni-chan. Nuji the eye. Oh, come on, you're mad because she's calling me that. It's part of the trick. To make them go away. Maju, I don't care. I don't like her. Yufufu, her low-pitched chuckle seriously freaked Naruto out. I made Oni-chan wake up very early this morning to show me around Konoha. I had not let him sleep at all last night. He was so tired. What were you doing the whole night? Boar did not hesitate to ask, getting a frightened look from Tiger. Yeah, what were we doing last night? Naruto repeated, his face wearing a mask of suspicion. Setsuna gasped. Oh, that's not good. She dropped her head, her front bangs concealing her big red eyes. An idle finger repeatedly traced a line up and down Naruto's right bicep. Ooh, moo. You are really gonna make me say it. She looked up. Naruto found Setsuna's fake embarrassed face the most adorable thing ever conceived by a mortal mind. From someone who has a loli in his belly, that means a lot. Muoni-chan, Uekai. J. That was Naruto. And the two ANBU guys. At the same time. So he has an alibi, Boar muttered, uneasy. Yeah. Naruto gasped. He could feel the two shinobis disapproving, accusing gazes on him. Setsuna kept doing her best young, innocent and head over heels in love performance. It was pretty damn good, having been won many years before. The fox girl squeezed Naruto's arms gently and pushed herself against his right side. Naruto felt as if he had just been rammed by a very soft wall. So, Oni-chan's been showing me around Konoha and his room, too. She dealt the finishing blow, dropping her tone to a shy whisper for the last words. Kaya. She buried her face in Naruto's chest. Ugh, we're done here. With no other words, Tiger and Boar disappeared from the scene. After 5 seconds of silently holding each other, Naruto and Setsuna sighed in unison and let go. Kapush. Setsuna's head was on fire. Oh, Sayuri. Majuo. Good job. Wha? Wheelie. Why? Wiggle, wiggle. May I have an explanation for this? Setsuna firmly asked as she dispelled the flames away. Naruto shrugged and smiled compassionately. I think she got jealous of you calling me Oni-chan. I see. Naruto made a dismissing gesture with his left hand. Don't mind. Sayuri does this all the time. She's even set own sister on fire. I was angry. Sayuri pouted. I was surprised she hadn't done it yet, actually. Naruto added, albeit a bit nervously. Yeah, Sayuri, why did you wait so long to set her on fire, anyway? She called you Oni-chan. Oni-chan is Sayuri's Oni-chan. No one else's. Yeah, I know that, but didn't the lightning bolts make you angry? Didn't those bother you? Ah, when Sayuri got the first one, Sayuri didn't like it, so Sayuri shut it off. Sayuri didn't feel the other ones. Then why have you been making those weird noises of yours every time? Cause Sayuri's scared. Cause Oni-chan doesn't like those things, ni. Oni-chan is taking them, even if he doesn't like them, even if they annoy him. Sayuri doesn't like that. Naruto sighed and smiled gently. Sayuri really wants to set her on fire, but mama told me it was bad to set other kitsune on fire. Sayuri's a good girl, so she can't set Setsuna-san on fire. Sayuri was a bad girl when she set Urami-ni-chan's tail on fire, but I was so really angry. And now Sayuri has set Setsuna-san on fire. Oni-chan. Naruto almost flinched at Sayuri's pleading tone. Is Sayuri a bad girl? Well, Oni-chan hates Sayuri. Boo, but Oni-chan complimented Sayuri when Sayuri set Setsuna-san on fire. Majuo, I'm confused. Naruto chuckled. Don't be silly. You didn't hurt her at all, anyway. You've been with me since the day I was born, even if we just met yesterday. And I don't think, no, I'm sure. Ever since I became friends with Iruka-sensei, nobody has cared for me the way you do. Naruto had dropped the tone of his mental voice as he said those words. Majuo, Kami, that doesn't even make me wonder anymore. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that you're my friend. My very precious friend. Even if you're kitsune, heck, even if you have those fricking 9 tails. They're pewetty. Yes, very much so. Naruto grinned joyfully. From a distance, Setsuna raised an eyebrow. Sayuri's very nice and very cute, and I will always be her friend. Believe it. Who don't say that again, Oni-chan. It's not cool. You mean believe it. Oh, okay. It's not like I say it all the time. Anyway, this isn't the dub. Sayuri gasped. Wait, what? Oh, Oni-chan. Oni-chan broke the fourth wall. Oni-chan's awesome. Wah, what are you talking about? What's a dub anyway? Wah, afi. Wiggle, wiggle. Oni-chan's the best. Oni-chan, I love you. Naruto's sweat dropped. Oh, okay, as long as you're happy. Oni-chan, you make Sayuri really happy. Sayuri's voice seemed almost shy at this point. No other female Naruto had ever met, human or kitsune, could infuse such sweetness in her voice the way this Sayuri did. Cause Sayuri is happy with Oni-chan. Sayuri wants to be close to Oni-chan. Always have fun together, ni. Naruto found such openness very touching. Had he ever had somebody so willing to open her soul to him like that? Someone to whom he was so very special. It was at this moment when Naruto began to take seriously his intention to free her from the seal that contained, at any cost. She deserved to be free. She deserved to live, to grow, and to learn how to properly use the power she wielded. And he wanted, if only once, to feel her in his arms in the real world. To be with his best and closest friend. Will you always be my Oni-chan? Naruto felt a painful shock in his chest. His body went rigid and his eyes watered. Nonetheless, he nodded firmly. Yes, forever and ever. Sayuri sighed. It was almost symbolic. All her childish doubts and fears were gone and only absolute happiness remained. She closed her eyes and smiled. Tears of joy ran down. She was experiencing an entirely new emotion. She would later find out it was called ecstasy. I love you, Oni-chan. Naruto wiped a tear off his right eye. I love you too, Sayuri. For some reason, Sayuri, for once, did not feel the urge to go wah. and wiggle her tails happily. This time, the warmth in her chest was so strong it made her shudder. It was electric, a current that raced from her chest to both her face and her loins. She closed her own arms around her tiny body and enclosed her tails to wrap her in a furry cocoon. Little innocent Sayuri sunk her blushing face in her legs, rubbed her legs together and basked in the warmth of her happiness. No, Naruto stopped in the middle of the busy street. After apologizing to Setsuna for making her wait, and explaining to her that he had to speak to Sayuri for a while, they resumed their walk to Konoha with the intention to feed the kitsune lowly. He occasionally got questions from a strangely curious Setsuna. She asked about particular buildings and about Konoha's reaction to his little mishap. They also finished their earlier conversation about summoning. He learned that, just as the summoned creature has the right to reject the summons, an already summoned creature has the chance to reject the summoner's attempted dismissal as long as the summoned has enough chakra to persist. It then becomes a contest of wills. It was Setsuna's not very subtle way to tell him that he was stuck with her until she felt like leaving. Naruto had, however, stopped in the middle off the street without previous warning, startling little Setsuna. No, Naruto exclaimed again, suddenly walking at an increased pace. Setsuna, wearing her ever-present bored expression, followed him at her own pace. No. Naruto felt his legs weaken and tremble. The destruction, the emptiness. No. Naruto fell on his knees. His bloodshot eyes were fixated on the giant nose of the third Hokage, the nose which had destroyed the Ikaraku family's small house, as well as the furthermost wall of the restaurant booth. Naruto. The boy looked at the owner of the place he had come to love as a second home, a place where he could share smiles and laughs over bowls and bowls of delicious ramen. Old man Tuchai-sen, you okay? Tuchai nodded. He was wearing a sad smile. He shot a look at Setsuna, who finally caught up to the devastated boy, but otherwise ignored her. He had plenty other things in his mind, but he could not help to feel a pang of bitterness. Naruto was bringing a friend to his restaurant. It was not something he did often, not even with his ninja friends. It was a special event that would not be able to take place. Ikaraku's? Naruto asked weakly. Tuchai shook his head very slowly. It's closed. Naruto's eyes widened considerably. His body went rigid like stone. It was as if he had been stunned by a physical hit. The Wayman place. Setsuna was waiting for the starry background, the credits and the Star Wars theme music when she felt a pair of strong hands grabbing her waist. Naruto buried her face on the soft fabric of her plain sundress. Setsuna could feel her face heating up, but otherwise her expression did not change. Are you crying? Naruto hugged tighter. Then he sobbed. This can't be happening. Oh Kami, you are crying. It can't be true, it can't be true. Naruto's muffled voice bounced off Setsuna's belly between sobs. Tuchai patted Naruto's shoulder 2 times before walking away. As much as he understood Naruto's pain, he had matters to attend to. Oni-chan, for Kami's sake, it's just a restaurant. It's not just a restaurant, Naruto yelled, startling everyone in a 50-meter radius. Muji. Tuchai turned back to look at the boy with fatherly pride. It's a special place. A special, precious, wonderful place, Naruto insisted. He stared up at Setsuna's bored face, as if challenging to retort, until his eyes watered again and he went back to staining her dress with tears. Oni-chan Peewis don't CWY Peewis, it hoots cause Oni-chan CYing. It hoots so much Sayuri hoots Oni-chan. Sayuri was pleading between sobs of her own. Setsuna, well, she sighed. Clumsily, she dropped a hand on Naruto's mop of hair and patted him awkwardly. There, Setsuna muttered matter-of-factly. Unsurprisingly soft if a bit greasy. Against all odds, clumsy head patting achieved the desired effect, eventually soothing down the devastated young boy. It's gone, Naruto moaned. It's really gone, what am I gonna do? Where am I gonna go? Don't exaggerate. It will be rebuilt, eventually. But where will I go to until then? Where will I have my delicious ramen? Naruto frantically insisted. Setsuna twitched. Ramen, eh? Naruto did not like the dark aura that seemed to seep out of Setsuna's tiny body. Did you intend to feed me ramen? What? What's wrong? Naruto could swear the world around them began to distort and darken in aberrant ways. Is this your game, boya? A cold, deathly mist seeped out of Setsuna's mouth. Her eyes had long ago been concealed under her loose forehead locks. Feed me ramen and take advantage of me and my weakness. Naruto finally figured out that Setsuna, as most kitsune, was susceptible to his favorite meal. No, I mean, it's a ramen stand, but they can make other. When did you intend to make me do your bidding? Setsuna's shoulders were shaking. She was deaf to Naruto's explanation. Before or after you had your way with my body? What? No. Naruto jumped to his feet. Kami? No. Kami? Damned. I mean, just he extended his open left palm at Setsuna in a displaying gesture. Just no. Really? Ugh. I mean, you're just so fucking tiny. With that, the evil aura and the spatial distortions were gone. All signs of Setsuna's impending fury had disappeared save for a twitching vein on her forehead. The lesson here is, well, this guy, Naruto, not very smart. Vuzmuriz. A few seconds later, Naruto was a smoking pile on the ground. Conveniently enough, nobody saw. Naruto stood up in single, fluid motion, his face a rictus of anger. That's it, I won't take this crap any high. A few more seconds later, Naruto was a twitching, smoking pile on the ground. Too loud. Silence. This time struggling a bit, Naruto got back on his feet. Why you little bi-eye? Setsuna mused, dispassionately looking down at the groaning, twitching, smoking pile on the ground. Not even Madara gets shocked this often. Maybe if I shock him some more I'll find out whether it was my shocks that turned Madara into a bumbling idiot. Then again, this boy is already a bumbling idiot. Ugh. Oni-chan, you okay? Ooh, what do you think? Moo no. Naruto would have rolled his eyes if his brain did not hurt so much. Good girl. Tihi. Oni-chan piwazed me. Let's go. Setsuna walked away. I can handle a day without lunch. We have places to go. Really, Naruto murmured weakly, but got back up and walked after her. Well, here we are. Dunno why you want to see a stupid wall, but here it is. As per Setsuna's request, Naruto had guided her to a deserted area by the colossal wall that protected Konoha from external attack. The little girl discarded her stay thoughts and placed the palm of her right hand on the surface. In the meantime, Setsuna had clearly explained to Naruto the alibi she had imprinted in the ANBU's minds, so that he would keep it in mind in case anybody asked him. Interesting. Lowering her hand, she turned to Naruto. How far are the watch posts from each other? Naruto shrugged. No idea. Setsuna sighed. Of course you don't know. Naruto gasped when she made the all too familiar hand sign. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. You know the drill, Setsuna told her clone, who nodded before disappearing ninja style. Then she turned to the pointing, gaping Naruto. What now? You know Kage Bunshin? Setsuna rolled her eyes. Yes, the fact that I used it just now certainly proves that I do, in fact, know Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. Aware that her sarcasm-laden answer did not satisfy the boy, she expanded her answer. I have learned a few human ninjutsu. I must admit that one was the most difficult technique I've learned. Most kitsune would never be able to pull it off. It was, then, her turn to be curious, which is why I was surprised when you claimed to know it. How come you even know of it, boya? Naruto felt as if someone had just hit him in the gut. It's the only decent thing I know. Konoha's harsh lesson came to mind. Setsuna, if she noticed the sudden change in Naruto's attitude, simply didn't care in the slightest. Do you know the 3 basic E ranks? Henge, Bunshin and Kawarimi. My Bunshin sucks. The other 2 I can do fine, Naruto admitted. Setsuna shrugged and turned back to the wall. She was looking up, as if trying to get an estimate of its height. Then why do you complain, boya? With those basics in Kage Bunshin you have more than enough to become the strongest shinobi if you are able to exploit those techniques to their full potential, of course. Then again, you're a moron, so I guess that possibility is simply beyond your grasp. Oi. Naruto was too depressed to complain any further. Majuo, forget it. In the vast garden of the Higashiyama Shrine, Yurina and Yurio trained for a change. It was a rather simple training. Yurio said the name of an object and Yurina crafted an illusion of that object only Yurio could see. Ooh, that was a nice white tiger. Now, let's see a cherry tree. In full bloom, of course. Hi, One-chan. 5 seconds later, Yurio smiled in marvel. Ah, now this is pretty, but it did take you a while, didn't it? Boo, but Yurina pouted. It's a bit difficult, with all the leaves and the flowers. I guess. I'd probably take longer, Yurio joked, but nodded in acknowledgement. Alright, now I'm the world. Yurina looked oddly at her sister, but got to work. While Yurina tried to make an illusion of a stand, Yuri and Konoha had their cups of tea refilled by the ever-attentive Yurin. Thank you very much, Yurin-sama. Konoha inclined her head in gratitude. How I don't mention it. Thank you, my dear. Yuri also thanked her daughter, raising a hand to gently pat her head. Hawawa, Yurin murmured blissfully, her 5 tails wiggling in response. Whoa, awesome. Yurio exclaimed excitedly before crossing her arms and making a stern face. Zawarudo. Toki wo tamer. Yurina could only sweat drop while her sister made numerous knife-throwing motions. Now that I think about it, your daughter was acting a bit strange at lunch, wasn't she, Yurin? Hawa. Yurin tilted her head. My daughter, Yurio-chan, the silver-haired matriarch specified. She was unusually surmise. 2 pillars to the left, Yurumi's sneeze interrupted her reading session. Would you happen to know anything, Katanoha? Yuri inquired from the swordswoman. Well, from what I could get, Katanoha nodded to Yurin as the second lily sat to her right. It seems that Yurio-sama affronted Yuria-sama in some way, so Yuria-sama decided to punish her. Yurin puffed her cheeks cutely. Moo, that girl. And I keep telling her to be more respectful. Sorry, mama. Ma, it's okay, it's okay, it's the sort of girl she is. Yuri dismissed her daughter's concern. In the distance, Yurio was struggling. Yurina had challenged her to make an illusion of Exodia, the forbidden one. So what sort of punishment are we talking about here? The sexual sort. Oh, Yuri smiled at the sight of Yurin's face gaining a healthy shade of red. Oh, look at you. You're a 5 tails and you're blushing like that. Hawawa-boo, but it's my daughter, she hasn't even made it yet. Well, you got a point there, Yuri acknowledged. At this point the sisters had switched to target practice. It was Yurio's turn to try her luck with her Kitsune fire. The target, Yurina's own Kitsune fire. So, are you and your daughters ready to go? Hawa, yes, mama. Yurin nodded eagerly. Well, the girls are not really taking much. I think Yurina-chan is taking more books than anything else. Yurio-chan, other than a few pieces of underwear, is not taking much of anything else. Remind her that we'll be sleeping outdoors. Her usual nightwear might not be appropriate. Yurio knew she was sexy and liked to feel sexy. Her sleeping attire usually consisted of either her bathrobe or very, very erotic lingerie. She'll probably switch to fox form, Yurin explained, words her mother acknowledged with a curt nod. What about Yurimi-chan? Yurimi-sama was been ready for this trip before Yuri-sama even announced it. Yuri giggled quietly, demurely covering her lips with the ample sleeve of her yukata. Ma, I guess. Oi, Yurio. The beautiful 2 tails stiffened, resulting in a fireball almost exploding on her face had it not been for her sister's quick reflexes dispelling it in time. Yuria had shown up, walking leisurely with her hands on the back of her head. Rio, I'm feeling kinda lazy today. Do you think you can make my luggage for me? Yuria struck, ignoring the mild disapproving looks she got from the 3 elder Kitsune seated to her left. Moo, Yuria-chan, that's not nice. Don't worry, Yurin, I already made my luggage. Anyway, Yuria admitted in a lower tone. Not my place to intrude, but don't you think you have bothered Yurio-sama enough, Yuria-sama? Katanoha questioned. Yeah, I know, but it's still amusing. While Yuria conversed with her sister and her other sister's guardian, Yuri had her eyes on the scene in front of her, some meters away. Irina was looking worriedly at her fraternal twin, Rio-chan. The brunette was shaking, gritting her teeth and clenching her fists for all their worth. When a low snarl escaped her lips, Yurina's look became anguished. Rio-chan, please calm off. Yuri's eyes narrowed when Yurina moved to her sister's side, obviously to cover her from sight. But the matriarch had seen. As I thought, she already. Rio-ni-chan, calm down. The black. Irio looked at her left arm, at the blackness that was taking over her skin. Closing her eyes, she took a deep breath and tried to ease her stormy emotions. Irina silently watched the darkness claim her arm past her sister's elbow and move further down. It also peeked out of Yurio's clothes to go up her neck towards her head and the opposite arm until it stopped. Rio-ni-chan. There. Yurio let go a deep sigh. Better. Indeed, the blackness rapidly receded until it disappeared under her wine-colored kunoichi garb. Yurio smiled and nodded to herself. See, that's why I always keep you close, sis. Rio-ni-chan, let's rest for now, ni. Sure. Irina wrapped her right arm around her sister's left and pulled her towards the others. Yurio dared shoot a glance at Yuria, but she, much to her surprise, she saw no hidden intent on her aunt's face. Yuria was leaning against the wooden pillar to Yurin's right, looking rather bored. How is it that Yuria-sama is not training? Irina wondered. Yuria shrugged. I trained plenty enough this morning, the shortest Lily replied, shooting a wink at the sisters. Irina released a quiet "oh" and blushed bright red. Yurio only groaned. Is everything well, Yurio? Yuri asked to her granddaughter, who turned to stare at the matriarch with wide, surprised eyes. She knows. I know. Yurio blinked. She did not expect telepathy. We will talk about this later. Very well. Irina, who had reached the same conclusion as her sister, smiled compassionately. Well, this is Yuri-sama we're talking about. Any further attempt at conversation was interrupted by an odd, if not unusual, scene. Hawawa Sayoko-san. Irina made everybody aware of the latest arrival to the garden. Kurosaki Sayoko, seemingly unaware of so many eyes on her, walked off the wooden path and entered the large garden of the Higashiyama Shrine grounds. Her slow gait obviously aimed at reaching the tallest, bulkiest tree in the place. Her hands carried a wooden bench and a bundle of thick rope. With her messy long black hair and tail, Her bored dark eyes and her slumped posture, she made for quite a pathetic sight. The wrinkles in her blue robe and the violet cowl she wore on top showed that she was wearing the clothes she had slept in, as she had not shown up for lunch. She had, however, shown up at breakfast. Apparently she had just awakened from a very long morning nap. Hawawa Yuri uttered as Sayoko gently placed the bench under a thick, low branch and began to work with the rope. She's gonna try to hang herself again. Everyone nodded. Sayoko was done making the noose by this point. Carefully getting on the bench, she proceeded to tie it to the branch. She was having some trouble with this because the bench wasn't tall enough, so she had to tiptoe to barely reach. Nobody's gonna stop her, Yuri inquired. Everyone shrugged. She seemed to be the only one worried about Sayoko. With the rope tied to the branch and still on the tips of her toes, Sayoko slid her head through the noose and tightened it around her neck. Somehow she was still unaware of the audience watching her attempted suicide attempt, or she just was really good at ignoring people. With the rope firmly secured, she dropped her arms and nothing happened. The audience of 7 watched in undisguised boredom as Sayoko simply stood on the bench, balancing herself on the tips of her toes. Nothing happened. A whole minute passed. Nothing happened. Sayoko whined. Another half minute. Nothing happened. For the first time, Sayoko turned to look at Yuri. She whined again. Yuri responded with a gentle smile. What is it, Sayoko-san? Could it be that the bench is too low and Sayoko-san can't kick it off? And also might it be that the rope is too short and Sayoko-san cannot simply let herself go? Does that mean that Sayoko-san is basically stuck in that position? Wow, that's just sad, Yuri muttered, and everybody else actually nodded in agreement. That's when Sayoko's tired legs gave in. The noose pulled her up before her feet could touch the bench, making Sayoko swing her legs forwards. The friction of her toes as they slid on the surface was enough to tilt the bench and make it fall, leaving Sayoko hanging from the noose, the way it was intended to. Hawa saw Sayoko-san. Yuri cried. Oh my, Yuri muttered. Yuri dismissed the whole thing. Oh come on, as if you didn't know better. This is Sayoko-san we're talking about. As if on cue, the branch broke and Sayoko fell on her butt rather harshly. Sayoko pouted. Whether it was because of the fall or because of the failed attempt, nobody will ever know. And that's when the branch fell on her head. Sayoko moaned one last time as she fell into blissful unconsciousness. See what I mean? Yuri added. After making a long walk alongside the wall, Naruto took his companion for a tour of the different sections of Konoha. The clone never returned, which Naruto realized meant it had dispelled itself somewhere to transfer her knowledge to the original Setsuna. And this is how Naruto figured out the main application of that trick. Setsuna simply ignored him when he suddenly went ooh. Now I get it. For no apparent reason. As he guided the lowly Kitsune all over his hometown, she bombarded him with all sorts of unusual questions. ANBU standard equipment, village surveillance patterns, distribution of population density, vigilance of open areas, evacuation procedures, location of shelters for civilians in case of emergency, approximate number of shinobi in each rank. Obviously, Naruto didn't have answers for most of Setsuna's crazy questions, but he kept her attention by reassuring her that he had the textbooks from the academy which would probably be useful. In any case, she also sent a clone to the library after Naruto showed her where it was located. They were actually inside the Hokage mountain. Naruto had not forgotten the time Iruka caught him before he could get away in time to skip the evacuation rehearsal. He still remembered the route and was showing Setsuna around the network of caves and passages. As the Peweti beam only went through the faces and did not travel through the bulk of the mountain itself, the vast majority of the tunnel system was intact, save for a few fallen crates here and there due to the trembling. Access routes, however, were another thing, and it took a while for Naruto and Setsuna to find a way inside the mountain that was not covered by rocks or guarded by ANBU. Or both. I really don't see why you think this is so interesting. Naruto, hands behind his head, stared doubtfully at the girl who seemed intent on examining the goods kept for storage in case of emergency. Of course you don't, Setsuna responded without keeping her eyes off the labeled shelves, crates and sacks. That's why you're an idiot. Do you always have an insult for everything I say? It's not that hard. Well, Naruto rolled his eyes. As long as you're having fun. I wouldn't precisely call it fun, Setsuna mused as she eyed a cluster of small rectangular boxes cluttering a whole shelf. But it is certainly interesting. I thank you for the opportunity. Naruto couldn't stop himself from smiling a little. Anytime. We're still stopping by your residence later, Setsuna stated. Right. My, oh my. A disturbingly familiar voice sent chills down Naruto's spine and made Setsuna raise an eyebrow. Munya. Naruto couldn't even dare to turn around, because he knew she would be there. Not the kind of place I'd want to be brought for a secret affair, kid. But I give you points for kinkiness. Creepy examiner lady. Oh. What the hell was that? A kunai on your butt cheeks, the voice eagerly replied before a pair of arms wrapped themselves around Naruto's neck from behind. I do have a name, you know, the voice said to his left ear. Naruto shuddered again, unsure of whether it was because of her breathing on his ear and neck or because of her sheer presence. You don't remember my name, do you? Naruto didn't respond. He only gulped. It was a good thing he didn't see the almost deranged smirk on the woman's face. Well, let's do something about that. The hapless hero only reacted when his instinct warned him of sudden motion behind him, poised for whatever could come at him. Naruto witnessed how the former examiner made an amazing contortion in midair at the same time she drew two kunai from where Naruto did not want to know and threw them at the rocky wall to her left. Falling straight on her 2 feet, she made a half seal, which made the two kunai release small bursts of smoke as 2 banners emerged from them and tiny fireworks exploded all over the small cavern. Most beautiful, deadly and outright awesome maiden of Konoha. Special Jounin Mitarashi Anko. They read. Naruto blinked. Orochimaru's apprentice smirked widely. Yeah, that's the usual reaction. Setsuna seemed unfazed by the whole thing, but her crimson eyes were fixed on Anko's figure. What the hell are you doing here? Naruto complained rather loudly. Anko leaned forward, resting her arms on his shoulders. Firecrackers still exploded around the trio, showering the room with lights and sparks. Checking the evacuation routes and shelters to make sure everything's in order. Basic procedure, boy. Especially with the threat of Orochimaru lurking around. Now Anko's smirk turned outright devilish. I could ask the same of you, boy, but we know the answer is obvious. She patted Naruto's left shoulder for good measure. Bringing your girl for some healthy fun where you though nobody would find ya. Not bad, kid. Naruto actually caught the innuendo and responded accordingly. Well, maybe not. Why no. God, sheesh, are you crazy? He paused. Wait, you are. You're crazy, examiner lady. Scratch that. And he exploded again. Are you serious? How can you wouldn't I mean, look at her. He pointed at Setsuna behind him. She's so damn tiny. He just does not learn, does he? Naruto did, however, freeze on the spot once again when he was showered with killing intent like a chilling downpour. He almost squeaked when Setsuna wrapped her left arm around his right in an almost possessive demeanor. Remind me to punish you for that one later. Now we're leaving. While Naruto allowed himself to be dragged away by the kitsune, Anko chuckled. Oh, come on, guys. I won't get in the way of your fun. She paused, seemingly pondering something. But the brat does have a point, you are kinda tiny. Dunno who's the kinkiest of you two, the brat for being a lolicon or you for being a kinky loli. Setsune didn't bother to turn her head to reply. I would kill you for that, but you already did that yourself. Walk faster, boya. Anko made an odd face. What do you? That's when she noticed exactly where she was. Amidst the food, water and other supplies intended for long-term survival in that cavern. The shelves and boxes contained equipment to be used by shinobi should the enemy reach the evacuation routes and shelters, as in kunai, shuriken, wire and explosives. Then she looked at the firecrackers. Well, shit, this is coming straight out of my pocket, isn't it? And it became a race to see who'd reach the exit first. Needless to say, Setsuna won. She did have the advantage of having moved first. The whole village rumbled when the entrails of the mountain exploded. Why? Fire? Not now. Sayuri. The three jumped out a hole in the mountain at the same time. A cloud of dust and smoke engulfed them. Anko landed on her knees and Setsuna landed gracefully on her feet. Naruto fell hard on his left side and rolled a few times before stopping face down on the ground, coughing. That was harsh, he complained between coughs. But at least we made it out alive. He finished as he got up to look at Setsuna. The kitsune offered the boy a victory sign with her right hand. Right. That was fun. I really need to talk with your mother. Majuo. Their danger senses warned them just before they found themselves surrounded by ANBU. Oh, so now they show up, Naruto mumbled. Now you've done it. Uzumaki, the ANBU behind a rat mask, apparently the leader of the squad of 6, spoke. A few hand signs later, 2 of the ninja left to explore the extent of the damage. They're going to containment. An instant later, Naruto was pinned down by 2 other ANBU, much to his alarm. Well, wait. You can't blame me for this. Crazy examiner lady did it. My name's Anko, damn it. The boy speaks the truth. It was a rather tense silence, in which Setsuna stared at each and every single of the masked faces. A second after she looked at the last one, it was Anko who found herself being dragged. Therefore, she kicked and screamed. Why, what? What the hell? You were blaming the brat a moment ago. Let me go. Damn it. I can walk on my own. Naruto watched mutely until the ANBU and the special Jounin disappeared in the distance, even if Anko's voice persisted as a lingering wail long after she was beyond line of sight. What the hell? HNN. No puny human can resist my compulsion. Why, you mean, you, like, controlled their minds and stuff? Yes, cool. Freaky, but cool. His face hardened for a moment. Don't do it again. HNN. Wow, I wish I could do that. Then I'd get Oni-chan to pet my tails all the time. Please don't. And, not to be one to seal my own doom, but you can do that. You've got 9 tails. They're pee-wetty. Wiggle, wiggle. Yeah. So you definitely can do that freaky mind control stuff. Aren't you the one who keeps saying you can do anything? Ooh, white. I forget. Teehee. Teehee, she says anyway. You can do it. But don't. Oh, I'm saying that, even if you can, don't do it. It's for the best. Moo akahei. That's my girl. Hehe, onai 3-chan. He p-ways me. So ha ppy. Hey, wow, that's just so weird. Him, being the smart, responsible one. Hua, Setsuna uttered absent-mindedly. Whatever, let's go. There are other places I want you to show me. And I don't enjoy being stared at by so many puny humans. It was then when Naruto noticed the audience their little stunt had gathered. Uyo. He rushed to seize Setsuna's left arm to pull her away. Let's get out of here. Don't touch me, you peon. She hissed. Oh, stuff it. Oh, you're so getting the lightning bolt where we get out of here. Eek. Majuo. Twice. You still owe me for what you said back there. Ugh. Oni-chan. What? I'm sorry, alright. What Naruto and Setsuna did not count on was that, among the civilians who showed up at the commotion, there were several familiar genin faces. That is the super hottie you two were talking about. Ino was almost amused. Kiba and Shino were sharing uneasy glances. Or at least Kiba was. It is hard to tell with Shino. Shino, yes, this is clearly a different girl. Sheesh, Kiba uttered. This is the, what, third one? He paused to look at Naruto drag away the little girl. Well, not to say I envy him, I mean, damn. Didn't know Naruto's strike zone went that low. Gia-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra-ra. Easy there, boys. Ino interceded. We don't want to arouse Miss Feral Growl here, she said, referring to Sakura, who was staring at Naruto with doom in her eyes. Looking back at Naruto and his partner, who were already far and away, she hummed. And so another one, you say. But really, Naruto goes for that type. Also, Kiba corrected. Naruto also goes for that type. And I do share your curiosity. Maybe she's a good. Shino paused. Kiss her. Yes, kiss her. That's precisely the word I had in my mind. No other. I mean, what else could I be thinking of? Ino and Kiba stared at Shino oddly for a while, before resuming the conversation. But, really, Ino turned back to the departing couple, who were already nothing but tiny specks in the distance. Naruto's hanging out with a different girl today. Kiba rolled his eyes. While I understand the shocking value of the fact that Naruto's hanging out with a girl, I still don't see. This is for Sakura, too. The two looked at the cherry-haired genin. She seemed to be in her own world of righteous anger. Only Sakura knew what was going on in Sakura's head. Anyway, I have to find more about these girls that suddenly show up all over him. Hinata. We must do it for Hinata's sake, too, Shino added. Sure, whatever. Ino shrugged. Oh, for commies, you're just doing it cause you're a bunch of gossips as much as the idea of Shino being a busybody terrifies me beyond belief. Ino and Shino completely ignored the dog boy, having decided to trail after Naruto and his new mysterious companion. Sakura walked a few steps behind them, saving her anger to fully unleash it at the right moment. Ino was pretty much cackling. Oh, Naruto-kun, you're making my week so much more amusing. What happened to Sakura? Kiba mumbled. Of course, I'm torn by Sakura's ordeals. Ino laughed half-heartedly. But nobody will mind if I enjoy myself while I help a little, nee. I don't mind. Of course you don't, Shino, Kiba mumbled again. Move it you two, let's go. The perky blonde went ahead, quickly followed by the bug user. Kiba could only shake his head. Oh man, if only it was that Katanoha chick. So this is the Nara clan sector. Setsuna looked at a lone deer strolling in a distant grassy field. Well, it certainly makes sense. Turning around to look at the houses around her, she addressed Naruto. Do you know how many of them are there? Naruto shrugged. Setsuna sighed. Never mind. I'll see if my clone can find a census. However, I can make an estimate right here. You do know the exact beginning and ending points, right? Sure. Good. Assuming a median of 3 people per household, I could get an estimate, yes. Why 3? Ninja families, and even civilian families within shinobi clans, tend to be small. Really? Yes, which is rather unusual, given that you'd expect shinobi families to try to make many offspring to offset career loses. Then again, they cannot afford to lose their kunoichi to pregnancy. Well, you lost me there. Of course, Setsuna shot a small grin at the blonde. You really are idiotic, aren't you? Naruto only shot her a heated glare. Setsuna chuckled. I've trained you well, and in so little time. I never cease to amaze myself. Walking closer to the boy's left side, Setsuna gently patted the left side of his chest. Do not fret, boya. I'm actually glad you're like that. It's certainly convenient to me. Huh? Setsuna chuckled again, this time patting Naruto's cheek, much to his embarrassment. That's precisely what I mean. Now, tell me what you know about this clan's jutsu while we get to the next sector. The boy frowned in a way totally uncommon to him. Like any other person, Naruto did not like to be mocked. It was surprising that Setsuna had not yet broken past the limit of his patience. But he really needed the help, and he had a very strong hope that a seemingly strong kitsune like Setsuna could help him. Ni Setsu. Sparks flew from Setsuna's right hand. Kira-sama. Yes, just how many tails do you have? 4. But do not let that be a measurement of my true power. Really, I do not like to brag, but I can tell you that I am considerably stronger than the average 4 tails. Setsuna seemed to be intent on studying the layout of the houses, her responses coming out half-heartedly. I wonder if she could beat Kotonoha-san. But, really, do you have to look down on us humans like that? I do not see why not. Setsuna shrugged. You're inferior. Naruto sighed in defeat. Oh well, I guess not every single kitsune I meet has to be nice. And that, my boy, is probably the most intelligent thing you have said since we met. Setsuna turned to him, wearing a cold smile. She was walking backwards. Now, take me to the next sector if you are so kind. Naruto scratched the back of his head. Mean bitch and everything, the girl was pretty, no way around it. Sure, so I guess it's off to the Hyuga sector now. Setsuna stopped on her tracks. Did you say? Yeah, the Hyuga grounds are nearby. Like, this way, Naruto commented, pointing in the direction they were walking towards. Setsuna clenched her right fist. Hyuga, the brood of that accursed woman. She's weird. Coming from you, it doesn't really mean that much. Majuo. Yes, Setsuna was still in her own world, her eyes blazing with hatred and determination. When my incredibly evil plan is completed, they will be the first to be cleansed, that accursed clan of big-breasted women. Yufufufu ha 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 ha. Wow, she snapped. She's WEALLY weird. She still doesn't beat you. Maju Sayuri don't get it. But Oni-chan's being a weenie, but her laugh is really cool. I wish I could do that. Please don't. For the sake of my well-being, don't. Ahahahaha bhahmugyyuu. BWHHHMUGYUU. Naruto facepalmed. That's wrong in so many levels. I'm beginning to wonder if the 4th actually did know who you really are but still sealed you to spare the world from things like this. And what's with the Maju in between, anyway? Boya. Setsuna called for Naruto's attention by pulling on his jacket. You done? Yeah. Thank you for not saying anything about it. She was actually blushing a little at her random outburst. Nah, don't worry. I'm just saving it for future blackmail. Setsuna frowned. I must say, you show occasional sparks of brilliance that amaze me. However, PZZT. Oh, Majuo, you don't really have a position to negotiate with me at all, boya. She walked past him. Move, now. I want to see the. She made a grimace as if she had tasted something really bitter. Hyuga grounds. So Naruto made conversation as they resumed their walk. You have something against the Hyugas or what? I have something against the world in its entirety. But yes, the Hyuga clan has a special portion of my hatred. Okay. As stealthy as 3 shinobi can be, Ino, Shino, and Kiba watched the couple from a distance. Sekira glowered some more. Enough to power a small village for a few hours. Only the gods knew what she was waiting for. Well, they seem pretty friendly to me, Ino muttered, once again concealing her surprise. Playful, even. Of course, this was her interpretation of Naruto's odd gesture as he was being electrocuted. Not that either of them could tell from where they were hiding. She assumed the blonde and the shorty had some sort of mock dispute or something. The whole laughing thing was freaky, though. Ugh. Ino was almost pulling her hairs off. There are too many questions. Who's this girl? Is she related to the other girls? What's their relationship with Naruto? I thought I.M-sen made that very clear earlier today, Shino mused. I am Sam. Curiously enough, this was Ino, the ramen girl. All right. But anyway, how did Naruto meet the other two? I think you said you had never seen either of these two around before, Shino-kun. Why do they like Naruto in the first place? What are they doing at the Nara grounds of all places? Why is she so damn tiny? PZT. Majuo. Poor Oni-chan. Oh, what the hell was that for? I'm not sure. I just felt like zapping a blonde for some reason. You're just evil. So I've been told. So this is the Hyuga clan, how predictable. Rotting and becoming stale in their faux lives of pseudo-nobility. Imbeciles' ignorance. Huh? Just talking to myself, boya. She eyed the tall wall that separated the Hyuga grounds from the rest of the village and shot a bored look at the pair of guards protecting the main entrance, some 80 yards away. No, it's just Naruto felt confused. I feel like we've been walking for hours. We have been walking for hours. No, that's not what I meant. Naruto waved his hands from side to side as if trying to dispel Setsuna's anger. I mean, just from the Nara sector to here, it feels like it took hours. And also, I feel like the plot's not moving at all. Naruto paused. The plot? Wiggle, wiggle. Oni-chan did it again. Setsuna turned to shoot a side glance to him. If he did not know better, he would think she looked pleased. Not bad, boya. She looked away, turning her back to him once more. Don't worry anyway, we'll try to move the plot forward in this scene. How many Hyuga do you think there are? She suddenly changed the topic. Setsuna almost chuckled at the puzzled look on the boy's face. Were she another person, she might have found it cute. Just try to think about it and make a guess. Well, Naruto scratched his head. With those eyes of them, they should be pretty easy to spot unless they were ANBU or something. I only know Hinata, but I would say there aren't that many of them, really. He looked at the wall. Their grounds are so big because they're all rich and famous. Naruto clenched his fists and fixed his gaze on the white wall, as if, by trying hard enough, he could see past it. I wonder if he's in their Hyuga Neji. Setsuna's eyes narrowed studiously at Naruto's change of posture. Do you have something against the Hyuga clan, boya? Naruto looked at the shorter girl, and he could swear there was a hint of a smirk there. Not really. I have to fight one of them in a few days and I really want to kick his ass, the bastard. Setsuna blinked. Is that so? Is this somehow related to the reason you summoned me? Naruto nodded eagerly, glad that they were finally touching his problem. I have to beat him, so I can become a Chunin, but it's not just that, it's personal. Setsuna didn't comment on that. She mutely stared at the boy, who seemed to have forgotten all about her presence and entered a world all of his own. But as I am right now, I wasted 3 weeks with that idiot Iro-sen and I can't beat Neji like this. Naruto sighed sadly. Setsuna found it severely at odds from what she had seen from him so far. But given the kind of life he's lived, I'm not surprised. I guess Kotonoha-san is right, Oa. Without any warning, Naruto found himself pinned against the wall by a surprisingly strong Setsuna. Her small hands were on his shoulders, so he could move his arms freely if he wanted, but the shock was so great that he found himself unable to stop her. When he actually came to his senses and tried to break free, it was already too late. Setsuna's fiery eyes looked up at him, and he almost screamed. No fucking way. 2 sets of 3 swirling black tomo in a crimson background were shaking the very core of his soul. Sharin, what did you just say, boya? Her voice made him shiver in indescribable fear. He could not understand why. Why was this adorably tiny girl so indescribably scary? Suddenly, however, she winked. What did I say about moving the plot forward? She slammed him against the wall one more time. Oh, oi, what's going on there? Ino's eyes widened in alarm at the sudden action. An unexpected development. Kiba muttered pointlessly. Things were suddenly getting troublesome, especially for Naruto. He sent his prayers to the hapless blonde. Sekira was biting her right fist. Strange sounds escaped from her throat. What's with that shameless, aggressive little girl? Ino hissed. And what the hell is Naruto doing? Why isn't he resisting? Shino raised an eyebrow at this. Why should he? Ino gaped at the bug user. What do you mean, why should he? Kiba and Shino stared at her. Silently, very silently. Let me explain it in a way you can understand. Kiba stated. If you suddenly pinned me against a wall and rubbed yourself against me, I wouldn't resist. You, Yamanaka Ino, annoyance incarnate. Jerk. A mildly blushing Ino spat back. Boo, but still. The girl hissed again, refocusing on the couple some 15 yards away. It's wrong. That girl's obviously too young. And doesn't Naruto already have that ramen chick? Sekira growled. Even Akamaru was shooting odd looks at her by this point. From yesterday's events, I cannot see any irrefutable proof of Naruto openly responding to Iam-san's feelings. I do see the possibility, though. In any case, if Naruto prefers the company of this new girl, I see no reason to be critical about it. Ino raised an eyebrow. Don't tell me you dig those types of little girls. I would have to peek under the skirt of her dress to give you a straight answer. Ino and Kiba gaped at Shino as if he had grown a second head. I think I have already stated that I am an ass person. The boy in shades responded as if it were the most obvious thing. Kiba gaped a bit more. Naruto remembered a similar feeling. It was just like the first encounter with Zabuza all over again. That feeling of helplessness, the awareness of the inevitable, incoming doom. It was not the Sharingan. Sasuke pissed him off, but never made him want to piss his pants. Neither did Kakashi. It was the Sharingan in Setsuna. In a way his simple mind just couldn't understand. The little Kitsune pulled it off. The way she released her aura and pushed it onto him combined with the way her spinning eyes seemed to be about to swallow him. Together they created a threatening aura Naruto found inescapable. It was almost beautiful, in the same way king cobras are beautiful. Maju Sayuri was out of things to say, so she said that. What did you just say? Setsuna repeated, inching her face closer with every word. It was a very good thing few people walk around the streets adjacent to Hyuga lands, not that it would have made much of a difference. I said I don't think I can beat Neji. Like I give a damn about that, Setsuna hissed. After that, Naruto blinked. I said that Setsuna leaned up until their noses were touching. God, those eyes. I said Kotonoha-san's right. Naruto felt like he was sinking in the vastest ocean. The weight of Setsuna's stare pushing him further and further down the abyss. He had already made an image of Setsuna, but these latest developments settled down his feelings towards her. Despite the sheer terror she was making him experience, he still couldn't help but be awed at its significance. That a girl so seemingly small and frail could be so magnificently powerful, it fascinated him just as it scared him. Kotonoha, Katsura Kotonoha. Naruto blinked. You know her. Crimson eyes stared at Cerulean. After 3 more seconds of silence, she laughed on his face. It wasn't the maniacal laugh from before. It was a hearty laugh, even in its coldness. It made Naruto wonder what Setsuna had gone through for someone to laugh like that. It was faked, but it was nice nonetheless. Oh boy, things suddenly have become much more interesting. Yes, interesting. Yes, this boy can prove amazingly useful even before he dies. Setsuna's next words came out unusually loud for her, being a reflection of her changing mood. Let's go, then. Where to? Isn't it obvious? She gifted the boy with a smile of cold mischief. To your place, of course. Naruto. Oh, that can't be good. Shino muttered in response to Kiba's sudden emergence. Apparently the Inuzuka was done hiding and wanted some straight answers. It seemed to his teammate that the feral boy's jealousy had reached its peak, as well as his patience. But I guess it could be worse. It could be Hinata. Well. Ino's eyes were the size of ping-pong balls. Did she just say what I think she just said? If you mean she said they're going to Naruto's place, then yes, you did. Shino muttered. No way. Ino gaped at the couple in the middle of the deserted street. I had no idea, Naruto. I'm sure there's a very logical explanation to that. Shino added. Don't get weird ideas. You don't believe that yourself, do you? Not in the slightest. And I would hold Haruno-san if I were you. Sakura's body was trembling at this point, as every single neuron in her brain screamed at her to jump out there and make Naruto pay. Sakura. Ino did as told and wrapped her arms under Sakura's armpits and around her shoulders. Should I have my Kikechu consume her chakra? Ino shot a glare at her partner in mischief. Naruto's eyes widened in alarm. The look on Setsuna's face could not mean anything good. He almost squeaked like a scared little girl when the girl aimed the palm of her right hand towards Kiba. Electricity began to gather into a ball in front of her hand. Setsuna, Naruto hissed, grabbing her wrist with his left hand. The electric ball dispersed harmlessly. He gulped at the deathly glare he got in response. Whether it was for calling her by her first name, or for grabbing her like that, he did not know. What he knew was that he had to stop her. No lightning, but they're dogs, Setsuna whispered back. Disgusting, annoying dogs. Her face turned into a rather ugly snarl. I'm going to erase them, and the likes of you isn't going to stop me. Looking at the disgusting creatures she intended to obliterate, electricity began to gather one more time, to which Naruto responded by tightening his grip on Setsuna's arm. The little Kitsune winced and the energy dissipated again, together with her Sharingan. Naruto had actually hurt her. Hissing in poorly suppressed anger, Setsuna turned to glare at the insolent boy. Her threatening glare came out half-hearted when she met Naruto's not cerulean anymore eyes. His reddened irises, slit pupils, and overgrown canines, together with a ferocious, beastly snarl, shook Setsuna to her core in more than one way. Insolent. Letting go of him, Setsuna lowered her left hand to slam a powerful electric bolt on Naruto's stomach. However, Naruto caught that hand, too. His low-pitched voice, even if she'd never admit it, made her shudder. Enough. Awkwardly enough, this is the moment Sakura chose to release herself from Ino's grip and jump out of their hiding place behind the nearest corner. Naruto. So this is what you have been doing this past. Oof. That was Setsuna's vocal response to being punched in the face, a nasty left hook that buried itself on her right cheek before sending her towards the paved street in front of the Hyuga clan grounds. Sakura's words got caught in her throat. Hiba, Ino and Shino watched the scene before them in stunned silence. Naruto seemed unaware of his teammate's appearance. Uzumaki Naruug. Setsuna's furious growl was interrupted by a kick to the gut, with force enough to slam her against the wall behind. What do you think you are, ga? Setsuna was once more interrupted, this time by Naruto's left hand clasping her thin neck like a vice grip and effortlessly lifting her lithe frame. That's enough, Naruto growled before resting Setsuna on his left shoulder, her long legs falling down in front. What in Inari's name do you think you are doing? Setsuna finally managed a complete sentence. Put me down right AANNH. Naruto's right hand slapped her right buttock. Hard. Shut up. With that one last threat, Naruto leapt away, Setsuna in tow, to a destination known to only him. The rookie genin who had witnessed this scene watched him depart, staring at the distance long after Naruto became less than a speck beyond their sight. It would be, of course, Shino who would break the uncomfortable silence. Somehow I like the direction this is taking. Sometime later, Setsuna and Naruto rested at ease on the grassy ground, some prudent distance away from Konoha proper. Naruto had left the flat stone he had used as a chair for the past 30 minutes or so, moving to the ground so that he could use it to support his back. With his lap acting as Setsuna's cushion, Naruto leisurely watched the blue autumn sky. Setsuna knew she should be mad. She should be boiling with righteous anger. Well, maybe not righteous, but definitely anger. Curiously enough, she was not. She was what she was. She needed a bit more time for her brain to properly reboot. She could not even finish that thought. They had sex. Well, it was rather one-sided sex, with Naruto providing and Setsuna screaming in pleasure. It was also non-penetration sex, okay? Non-genital penetration sex. He did some marvelous things with his hands, though. He had spanked her, touched her, made her sweat, scream and cry for more. He had blackmailed her, holding back on her until she agreed to his terms. Only once she had done so, she had given the delicious ecstasy she so much craved. It was a most unusual, but definitely welcomed, punishment method. She did wonder about one thing. She had noticed Naruto's erection during her finger fellatio. Why had he not tried anything? Was it because she looked tired? Or was it because he did not want his first time to be with her? She guessed it was the latter. Not that it really mattered to her. They did what they did, and she had enjoyed it. Oh, she had recovered her capacity for coherent thought. Good. She felt Naruto move behind her. Wah. She was surprised when Naruto picked her up, bridal style. Looking up at his face, however, she could tell there was no affection in this gesture. Naruto's expression was stern and serious once again. Naruto paused for a moment to admire just how light and small Setsuna's body was. It was kinda cute. However, business was business, and he had to act while Setsuna was still mellowed out by what they had, well, enjoyed. He put her down on her 2 feet, but was gentle enough to lean her back against a tree. Resting his own hands on the trunk by the sides of Setsuna's head, he leaned down to press his forehead against hers. His unchanging expression made an unsettling contrast with the intimacy of their positions. Setsuna, red eyes met blue. She made a mental note to scold him for using her first name. Listen to me, and listen to me well. Setsuna showed no reaction, but she was listening. She had promised, after all. A kitsune's promises are serious business. You can insult me. You can look down on me. You can even use your evil electric hands on me. I don't care. I've had worse. But I won't let you harm my friends or my village. Naruto snarled with a loud, threatening voice. It was something not many humans could pull off. Setsuna idly wondered if he did not have yokai blood of some kind. Try to pull that shit again and we'll be in trouble. Naruto's expression relaxed, oddly. His tone as he spoke those words was actually congenial, and Setsuna knew he was back to his usual mood. He moved his head away from hers, looking down at the shorter female with mirthful eyes. I'll have to punish you again, and it will be you, he blushed. I'll make it more perverted. It will be so perverted, I don't even know what it is. So don't do it. Naruto challenged Setsuna. However, it looked more like a pout than anything else. It was very hard to take seriously. Yufifufu ahahaha. Setsuna could not stop herself. She chuckled, then she giggled, and it soon became full-blown laughter. Real laughter, not crazy-ass evil laughter. It was light-hearted and melodious. It was, well, nice. Naruto really pouted at this, but he was not really angry. It was the first time he saw Setsuna like this. It's not funny. No, it's not ahahaha. The genin calmly waited for the kitsune to settle down, which took her the good part of a minute. Once she stopped, she seemed to have fully recovered from both the fit of laughter and the afterglow of their little sex play. She was back to her usual self, save of the tiny upwards curve at the corners of her lips. Not bad, boya. Huh? Even when aware of the immense difference between you and me, she walked past him, forcing him to turn around to face her back. You fight back. You talk back even if it's for a silly reason such as protecting your friends. Naruto noticed Setsuna had inclined her head up to look at something she could only see in the distant sky. A tough man who fights to stand by himself, to not let the world step on him or what he believes in. A man who takes a beating and is willing to get back up. A man who knows what he wants, whether it is an evil man or a goody-goody two-shoes like you. Naruto grimaced. Setsuna turned around to look at him. Naruto found her smile stunning and disturbing. A man like that is a man I can grow to like. With that said, she snorted, as if blowing away that moment of weakness to get back on her groove. Well, boya. She let herself fall down to sit down on the grass. Yep, alright, bad idea. Naruto chuckled at the sight of the lowly rubbing her sore butt as she got back on her feet, for which he got a deathly glare. Don't get cocky on me, boya. Just because you got me once and don't think it's gonna happen again. Her glare turned a mischievous smirk. At least not under your initiative. Naruto gulped. So, Setsuna barked, like the officer demanding the new recruits to stand at attention. The reason you summoned me. This problem of yours. I'm listening. So what to make of that? Back in Yamanaka Flower, 2 boys and 2 girls made an odd circle on the floor to discuss the latest events. Ino's question was the one thing that the 4 seemed intent to figure out. Even Sakura, whose titanic anger had been utterly dissipated by the simple fact that she could not figure out just what happened back there. I think the chick was going to do something. Kiba mused. I mean, she raised her hand and I think I saw something, like, shiny. He frowned. But then Naruto stopped her. A jutsu, Sakura wondered. Without hand seals, Shino intervened. That would make it a special jutsu of some kind or her, a highly skilled ninja. This would also bring out the conclusion that Naruto is aware of this, because he stopped her. Besides, we cannot be sure of anything if Kiba is not sure himself. Do you think? Ino began to propose. Do you think she might be an enemy ninja? A spy or something? Would a spy let Naruto beat the shit out of her, spank her and carry her away? Kiba retorted rather acridly. Maybe Ino grasped at straws. If she wanted to keep the alias or something, she noticed the looks she was getting. Forget it. So we have nothing. Other than they had an argument. A pretty violent argument, if you ask me. Kiba muttered. So Naruto's a wife-beater. I think it is probably more complicated than that. Shino declared. So should we report this to anyone or something? Ino asked. I do not see why. It's not like they have done anything worth reporting. Kiba gave his opinion. What about what happened at the mountain? Sakura finally intervened. Well, the ANBU took away Mitarashi-sensei, didn't they? Ino wondered. The 2 boys nodded. But they might have been arguing about it. Sakura insisted. Maybe that girl did it, but managed to put the blame on Sensei, and Naruto was fussing her on it. So now we're defending Naruto. Ino asked with a raised eyebrow. I thought we were mad because Naruto was hanging out with girls instead of doing whatever it is you expected him to do in this month. Which was not training. Kiba mirthfully added. No. I mean, yes. I mean, what if shut up, Ino? A flushed Sakura dejectedly dropped her head. Kiba sighed and rested his hands on the back of his head, making sure Akamaru did not slip. I say we leave it to rest for today. We can just ask Naruto next time we meet him. Yeah, ask. Sakura mumbled, cracking her knuckles. You have issues. Kiba mumbled in return. This won't let me sleep at night. Ino muttered in frustration. Then you have issues too. The foursome got on their feet. So, wanna help me look for Sasuke-kun? For the last time, Sakura, Sasuke-kun is not in Konoha. We have already looked everywhere. It pains me as much as it does you, but we gotta deal with it. Ino boringly explained. Sakura stared at her. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. I'm not leaving Konoha to look for him. Awa, come on, Ino. Mom won't let me go by myself. She paused, which is weird, cause I'm a ninja, but anyway. Come on. No means no, Sakura. I have to look after the shop, anyway. Kiba and Shino back away from the conversation. Girls, so I guess we go. Kiba, I must apologize, but I must leave now. I have to. Shino thought fast. Go back home. Yes, eh? Why all of a sudden? Why indeed? Shino thought even faster. Oh, what? You know, Kiba my clan, the Aburame clan, we raise insects. Kiba stared back, deadpan. Yes, Shino, you clan raises bugs. Indeed, we raise bugs. So you see, some of these bugs, they live in artificial hives. What exactly are we getting at here? Well, every once in a while we have to clean these hives, because, well, they get dirty. These bugs, they release many secretions. Slimy, sticky, viscous secretions. Some are actually slightly acidic. Shino was on a roll. So we have to wear special garments and gloves, because otherwise, all those substances would run down our arms. It would be very uncomfortable. You see, there's this one kind of mucus that... Whoa. Dude, that's gross, man. Real gross. It is a fascinating topic. Sure, whatever. Okay, I get it. Go play with your bugs or whatever. I appreciate your understanding. Yeah, sure, I'm great. Just don't say those things in front of Hinata or Kurenai-sensei. You'd really gross them out. What about US? Sekura and Ino, both rather green on the face, screamed in unison. Shino shot them a side glance. I see. Very well, I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, Kiba muttered, and then watched his teammate walk away. Damn, he's in a hurry. He sighed. Ah well, I'm leaving too, girls. Gotta go report to Hinata and wait a minute. Shino just ran away on me. Yeah, pretty much. Ino consoled the dog boy with a compassionate smile. Akamaru whined atop his partner's head. Kiba only growled. Fuck you, Shino. Fuck you. Under the shade of a tree, Naruto exposed his situation to Setsuna, not being one to allow Naruto to sit down and relax while her sore bum forced her to stay up. The fox woman forced him to stretch his legs and she shamelessly sat on his lap. And that's pretty much it. So, can you help me? Setsuna shrugged. Sure. Naruto blinked. Say again. I said, sure. Are you deaf as well as stupid? Setsuna punched his ribs playfully. Oh, stuff it. Miss, I like to be smacked on. Oh. You said no lightning. That was a tender stroke. Naruto rolled his eyes. Sure. But, really, you're gonna help me. Just like that. Setsuna shrugged again. Why not? No matter how I see it, it's win-win to me. Why don't I like the sound of that? The kitsune explained her point. Not only do I get to see you humiliate the Hyuga prodigy, I can also claim to have accomplished something Konoha couldn't do. Win-win. How do you win if you don't help me? I don't have to spend more time with you. Naruto pouted. You're mean, so I've been told. But Naruto looked a bit skeptic. Can you really train me in, what, a week? I mean, no offense, but well, Konoha-san said. Forget what that flabby-chested imbecile said. Setsuna uttered angrily. I said I'm going to teach you. Shouldn't you be happy? Not only do you get what you want, you also get the chance to try to satiate your growing sexual attraction towards me. Naruto gaped in disbelief. What growing sexual whatever? Setsuna harshly poked the boy's crotch. What? You think I didn't notice? Where are you touching? Naruto hurriedly pushed Setsuna's hand away, much to her private amusement. Cute. Do you want me to suck your fingers again? Or maybe she raised a finger to the right side of her mouth in a pensive gesture. You want me to suck something else? Naruto entered a pathetic but very amusing blushing, stammering fit. What are you talking about, Setsuna? Pita. Oh, Mistress Setsuna, the kitsune clarified. Have some respect for the one who is going to educate you. Whatever. Naruto pouted. Pizizite. Oh. Naruto rolled his eyes. Whatever, mistress. Pizizite. Oh, don't use such an insincere tone. Naruto sighed in defeat. Yes, mistress. I'm very grateful, mistress. And he was really. Not only had he got a new sensei, the electric shocks did not hurt that much anymore, either. Whether this was because he had gotten used to it by now or because Setsuna was finally going easy on him, he did not know. By the way, boya. Setsuna smirkled mischievously. You're not getting any. Who the hell wants any? Pizite. Oh, don't raise your voice at your mistress. Yes, mistress. Very well. Get up. We shall begin right away. Setsuna got back on her fit, allowing Naruto to do the same. May I ask a question, Mistress Setsuna? Naruto made an odd face at that sentence. Seriously, this whole mistress thing was just weird. And a bit funny. You may. Naruto scratched the bridge of his nose. Just how are you gonna train me, anyway? Ah, well. Setsuna closed her eyes for a second. When she opened them again, they were different. Sharingan. Yes, boya, Sharingan. She aimlessly walked around the place as if dictating a lecture. You see, if there's something I've come to realize about these eyes is that they are far more powerful than I originally intended them to be. It's like the next best thing after being a god or a nine-tails. Really, it's almost unfair. Naruto did not catch Setsuna's very interesting choice of words. Hua. Setsuna rolled her eyes. Bon mot, boya. She uttered, sarcasm dripping from every word. Touche. Say again. We're going nowhere here, aren't we? She looked almost amused. Hey, I'm not the one who's saying all that weird stuff. Setsuna stared tiredly at her new student. Weird stuff. She sighed in defeat. Ha, c'est la vie, I guess. There you go again, Naruto exclaimed, pointing at his sensei. Oh, stuff it. You ready? Wait a minute. Setsuna crossed her arms impatiently. What now? And don't point, it's rude. No, it's just that I should call Sayuri again. She must be wondering why I'm taking so long punishing you. Setsuna actually blushed a little at this. Sure, go ahead. Naruto closed his eyes and tried to feel out that barely recognizable flicker of emotion that was his connection with the Nine Tails. Sayuri, you there? Can you hear me? Damn, this is weird. Majuo, Oni-chan. Hey there. What? Oni-chan. It's Oni-chan. Oni-chan's back. Why? Wiggle. Oni-chan, I missed you. You know, hard to believe, but I think I kinda missed you too. Guess I got used to this already. Why? Oni-chan missed Sayuri. Sayuri's ha ppy. The fox girl suddenly switched to her angry tone. Moo, Oni-chan. Sayuri was bowed. Ha, bored, you say? Naruto guessed it made sense. If he had to be completely alone in a cage for 13 years and suddenly found someone to talk to, he would not want to leave that person alone for a second, either. Yeah, bowed. Hell, I guess. Sorry I made you wait. Hey, it's okay. Cause I love Oni-chan. Naruto blushed a bit. Hey, thanks. So, did you get that weenie? Naruto blushed a lot more. Ooh, in a manner of speaking. Yeah, but I think she'll be nice. Why are you standing there blushing like a moron? Nicer from now on. Yeah, wait. Oh, right. So, I'm gonna train with Setsuna now, so I can't talk with you now, okay. It seemed Sayuri was just too happy to hear his voice again to complain about anything. Opening his eyes, he smiled at Setsuna. Yosh, we're good to go here, said mistress. He bit his tongue playfully, making the kitsune shake her head in amusement. Very well. Look into my eyes, she said quietly as she walked closer and closer. Naruto leaned a bit forwards to get a closer look. Izanami, with arms and legs spread, Katsura Kokoro, in the body of Ikaraku Ayame, stared at an old, white ceiling. I'm bored. A ball of tumbleweed suddenly entered the bedroom, made a full tour around the room and traveled back out. Wow, that was weird. 5 minutes later. I'm bored. Damn, I really underestimated having a job. Hey, can I finger myself? What do you mean? Again. What part of I'm bored don't you get? Silence. Oh, don't be such a prude. Silence. Fine. I won't do it. Sheesh, I don't get any love here, and now that we're touching the topic of me not getting any, where's our favorite blonde stud? She narrowed her eyes. He better not be sexing it out with someone else, or there will be hell to pay. Hell, I tell you. Silence. Yeah, I know, I'm just being silly. I mean, it's Naruto. What are the odds of that happening? Silence. Moo, I'm bored. When Naruto blinked, he found himself in a surreal setting. We're not in Konoha anymore, are we? Majuo. He was standing in the middle of a vast canyon, which reached as far as his eyes showed him. It was completely desolate, save for the hundreds, no, thousands of towering mesas that made him feel like he was in the god's very own pachinko parlor. The gigantic spires of rough, natural sandstone looked down upon him like mute colossi, awing and intimidating him. The basic Sharingan, it does many things. Setsuna suddenly appeared from behind him. She, too, was admiring the natural wonder that surrounded them. It does so many things I'm not even sure what it does anymore, she admitted. It's not like I use these eyes that often, anyway. Naruto noticed a curious circular hole on the back of her sundress. He blushed when he managed to see a bit of the crack of her butt. There is an additional stage, which the Uchihas call Manjikaiwu. It basically allows them to use 2 different kitsune techniques, 1 per eye. I do not have this Manjikaiwu, basically because I don't need it, been a kitsune myself. What I do have, however, are special techniques only I can use because of these eyes. This is the Phantasmagoria Boya, a world hidden within the gaps in reality and shaped by my will. This is a world where no other god can reach, the world where I am God. When she was standing some 15 meters away from Naruto, 4 black tails emerged from her lower back, each slightly over a meter long. For the next 24 hours, we fight. You will feel no hunger or thirst, so we will fight non-stop. You will learn from experience and observation by demanding your body to match the speed and power of a being immensely greater than you. Do your best, for I will not hold back. Wait, 20 foe. Setsuna was standing right in front of him, her left hand gently touching his chest. Idiot, she whispered, almost affectionately. Oni-chan. Naruto moved faster than he had ever moved in his life, jumping aside in time to witness how a line of lightning tore through the air, where he had just stood a moment before, releasing a furious shriek as it streaked past and exploded on a rocky spire behind. The boy gasped in amazement at the sight of the colossal structure collapsing like a tower of cards due to the lightning bolt disintegrating a massive chunk of its mass, utterly destroying the pillar's balance. Lightning release, natural sharp. One of the basic techniques a lightning kitsune learns when she gains her third tail. Naruto had to cover his face when both master and student were engulfed by the cloud of dust and sandstone particles. Setsuna's voice still reached him, as if the kitsune were impervious to it. Do you understand now, Boya? The difference between our species. Inari-sama did not condemn us to a single power. He blessed us with the potential to shape the world, according to the pulse of the blood running through our veins. Wind release, summer's anthem. Naruto cried in pain when thunder roared all around him. He felt in the middle of a summer thunderstorm, and the sky screamed words of glory straight to his eardrums. Oni-chan. He fell on his knees and covered his pained ears, not failing to feel the blood pouring out, the banner of his ruined hearing. Sayuri, however, did not forget to provide immediate aid. Naruto moaned. The powerful sound waves released by Setsuna's technique also blew away the dust that clouded their vision. Boya, question. Huh? Naruto uttered. I can't hear you. Setsuna blinked. Oh, for Inari's sake, are humans really that fragile? While wait, Naruto inclined his head. Say something again. Hiai. Setsuna frowned. What? Oh. Naruto blinked. He actually looked impressed. I can hear again. Cool. I see. Setsuna replied. Good. Now, question. I mean, yes. Do you know the 13 different types of kitsune? Yeah. Naruto nodded while he slowly and staggeringly got back on his feet. The kitsune smirked. Very well, what kind of kitsune am I? Huh? Naruto blinked in puzzlement. Well, aren't you a thunder? Setsuna chuckled. Cuckoo, that, Boya, is the simple answer. However, it is not the correct one. Poof, poof, poof. Wow, the fire Majuo. Naruto was of similar thoughts. Black fire, certainly, like unholy will-o-wisps, 4 flickering flames of color of midnight floated on the tips of Setsuna's tails. This, Setsuna stated, is the fire that consumes all. The fire that needs no fuel, as it is driven by a sentience beyond our limited, mortal comprehension. The fire that forever hungers, and solely exists to reduce the world to nothingness. The fire that will burn for 7 days and 7 nights. This is void fire, Boya. A blessing and a curse all void kitsune are born with. The Uchiha call it Amaterasu. It's a stupid name, there's nothing remotely divine about it. Now, my student, you shall learn to fear this flame. Now, dodge, if you know what's good for you. And Naruto ran for his life, for he was assaulted by an endless barrage of black flame bullets. Setsuna shot her tiny fireballs like a machine gun, chasing Naruto throughout the labyrinthine paths between the endless pillars. Naruto did notice that the flames did not dissipate after impact. They remained wherever they struck, lingering and relentlessly burning the ground itself. Wow, I wonder if I can do that. Now's not the time for those kinds of comments. Dodging them once is not enough, Boya. Setsuna taunted, and Naruto shrieked when the lingering flames slithered across the ground like ebony snakes set on swallowing him. Naruto leapt high above the flame trails, which collided on the place where he had just stood. Attaching his feet and right hand to the side of a rocky spire, he watched all the tiny flames coalesce into a gargantuan maw of living flame. It's like it has a mind of its own. The race began anew. Naruto raced through the vertical wall, a gigantic anaconda of black fire trailing after him. Out of a corner of his eye, he saw Setsuna following him from an adjacent mesa. The young ninja demanded his legs to outdo themselves, to reach for the top and touch the clouds. Toya. With a mighty leap, Naruto reached the summit, landing in the middle of an almost perfect circle no more than 20 meters in diameter. An instant later, the gathering of flames surged upwards like a tidal wave intent on swallowing him whole. Is there no end to that thing? Naruto screamed in his mind. Don't take your eyes off your opponent, Boya. Setsuna was on the sky right above Naruto, at the height of an astounding leap. Her tails were ablaze with void fire, and a ball of the devastating flames the size of a shopping cart floated above her. The void is merciless. Shit. Oni-chan. Everything became white. Kakutan. Kakayugu. Then everything became black. Clouds. Naruto quietly, placidly watched the clouds. They were pretty, puffy clouds, like cotton motes idly pacing through the sky. The ground was cold and hard, but he really did not feel like moving at all. He knew that, should he turn his head to the right, he would see Setsuna. She, too, was watching the clouds. Oni-chan. What the fuck was that? Naruto finally muttered. We died, Setsuna plainly stated. Huh? We died, she repeated. That little runt in your belly killed us. We never stood a chance. Huh? Oh, Oni-chan. Naruto felt a tinge of pain in his chest. Sayuri was sobbing. Oni-chan, I sob. And so I Sayuri's fire hoot Oni-chan. Naruto mumbled. So that was it. Honestly, he had not felt a thing. He still was not sure what had just happened. But Sayuri, when that Biwak fire was chasin Oni-chan, I Sayuri didn't like it. Sayuri felt something. That fire is weird. It's a bad fire. It's not like Sayuri's fire. Sayuri's fire is shiny and fun. That fire. Naruto shuddered. Somehow, he knew Sayuri was shuddering too. Is bad. Sayuri was scared. So Sayuri killed the bad fire. You killed the bad fire. Naruto frowned at the strange choice of words. This was the same girl who thought her chakra pulses made the birdies fall asleep. Also, that's how it is, Setsuna muttered. That's a Kyuubi for you. She's perceptive, even if she's just a girl. Huh? Naruto finally turned his head to look at his master. Wow, what do you mean? Setsuna's expression became solemn and respectful. I told you, boya. Void fire is not ordinary fire. It's I wish I had a better word, but really, there is no other way to put it. It is evil. But it's fire. Setsuna returned Naruto's confused look. Naruto was taken aback by her unusually gentle smile. Boy, I showed you the void so that you would be ready in case another kitsune tries to use it against you. Now you know it's dangerous and relentless. But do not expect me to tell you more about it. You don't need to understand the void. You don't want to understand the void. That responsibility belongs only to those who wield it, kitsune or whatever. Setsuna-san shouldn't use that bad fire. The Four Tails looked back up. With a single motion, without even using her arms for support, she raised her body to a sitting position. But, really, I can't believe your Kyuubi did that. What? Naruto was confused by this whole thing, but he had already resigned himself to accept that this was a conversation that would fly way over his head. Look over there. Naruto turned his head to the opposite side and his heart shook at the sight of the most frightening scenario he had ever witnessed. He was finally aware that he was on top of one of the tall pillars that littered the whole place. Similar towering mesas of rock extended for a very long distance in the direction he was looking at, until they all disappeared to be replaced by a crater. A huge crater. The land had been perfectly flattened and shaped into a flat cone devoid of any feature. I got rid of the cloud and the lingering radiation. I should have let you see the cloud. It was quite impressive. Wah. That, my boy, is the scar left by your little Kyuubi's explosion. That's got to be at least, I'd say, 4 kilometers diameter. I have truly never seen anything like that. It's humbling. Sayuri did that. For once, the girl did not seem proud of her achievement. Sayuri doesn't really know. Sayuri wanted to get rid of the bad fire, and then Sayuri came up with a new jutsu, Kakuten Jutsu. Kakuten, stroke release. Naruto frowned. That was just odd. Maju, Sayuri doesn't know the kanji. Nuclear release. Naruto turned to Setsuna. Nuku Lai what? Setsuna chuckled. Nothing you need to know, boya. Now get up. We're supposed to be fighting, right? Naruto jumped back to his feet. But really, he wiped some dust off his jumpsuit. What the heck happened? Didn't I tell you? Higashiyama Sayuri's will allowed her to release a jutsu from behind the seal that contains her. She made a nuclear explosion and killed us. How can you say she killed us if? Setsuna sighed. I explained this before. The gods cannot reach this phantasmagoria. The only god here is me. I decide what happens when you die in this world. Who? I don't get it. Sayuri doesn't get it. I'm not surprised. Setsuna rolled her eyes. By the way, tell your little Kyuubi to stay out of our training. How can you expect to improve if you depend on her power to save you? Ooh, right. You heard that, Sayuri. Naruto deflected the words in an amicable way. He did not want Sayuri to think he was angry at her. Maju alright. Now, lesson 2. Taijutsu. Oi. Wait. Ga. And the battle continued. It hurt. It hurt everywhere. But it was good. Night had fallen in that dry, lifeless world, and they had fought. Darkness had swallowed that moonless realm, and they had fought. Light had returned again, and they had never stopped fighting. Setsuna was right. He had felt no hunger or thirst, even as he pushed his muscles relentlessly and constantly. He had long ago taken off both jacket and shirt, allowing his perspiration to pour out without obstruction. He was already getting the hang of void fire. The first thing he learned was that, once Setsuna gave the silent order for the fire to chase him, it moved independently of its creator, so distracting or attacking Setsuna did not stop it. A few deaths and resets later, he found out that the black fire could apparently see through solid rock, so hiding behind a pillar would not stop it. On a side note, death, most of the time, was very uncomfortable. But he guessed it had everything to do with the fire, and the lightning and the neck snaps and the spear-tipped tails and stuff. After the next reset, Setsuna explained to him that void fire was naturally inclined to extinguish living things, and it could feel him somehow. He eventually found out that the only way to get the black fire to stop chasing him was to get beyond the range of its perception. He estimated this range to be somewhere between 80 to 100 meters. Conveniently enough, Setsuna could not command the fire beyond the first instruction, so he could get back within range without fear. Beyond dealing with the lingering flames, there was no real technique to dodging Setsuna's shots. Whether it was a barrage or a large fireball, it was simply a matter of speed, reflexes, and finding the gaps in the offensive. Lightning was tricky too. It could only move in a straight line, unlike the void fire which he had seen making some really incredible things in the air. Setsuna made up for it with her jutsu. She had shown him a jutsu with which she created 4 balls of lightning which orbited around her body to defend her. As soon as Setsuna saw a gap in Naruto's defense, 1 or more of the balls became lines of destructive lightning rushing to get him. It was simple, but it worked. Setsuna also did not need to shoot it from her hands or her tails. She could summon it from the sky, like, well, real lightning. In any case, Naruto was getting quite adept at dodging ranged attacks. Too bad Neji was a taijutsu specialist. Then there was Setsuna's taijutsu. Naruto had quickly learned it was highly acrobatic. The most important feature of Setsuna's nameless style was that it relied almost entirely on her legs. Setsuna never threw a punch. She only used her arms to defend and to support her body when performing her highly flexible motions. It also took him a while to get used to the almost constant glimpses of her private parts, as she was still not wearing underwear. Of course, he learned his lesson, as every single time he averted his eyes to not look, he ended up dead. Or at least very, very beaten. It could be said it was a side benefit of their training. As a ninja, Naruto had to get at least used to the female body. Thanks to Setsuna, he was many steps closer to this objective than most of his male genin colleagues. Most, because Sasuke and Neji probably would not care, and Shino would probably be able to enjoy it but not let it get in his way. There was one thing that bothered him from Setsuna's taijutsu, though. It was not precisely annoying, it was just weird. Setsuna's crazy made-up words. Naruto grimaced when his right arm got caught in Setsuna's leg clinch. It was one of her preferred defense maneuvers, hooking her thin, flexible leg around his offending limb and holding him by this means. Croix, Sayuri Wikes Croissants. The boy tried to sweep her off her sole balancing leg, but she raised it first to attempt a roundhouse kick in midair. Naruto blocked it with his left arm. Setsuna ended up upside down, her entire weight supported by her thin arms, using a flip to make some distance between the two. Naruto went after her with a straightforward jump, legs first to castigate her head. Setsuna, however, leapt upwards, turning in the air to parry the straight flying double kick with her right shin interposed between Naruto's feet and her chest. Prize defer. Naruto's higher mass and momentum should have ensured his advantage, but he could feel his legs giving in. Chakra, deciding that he, too, could play that game. He remembered his tree and water walking lectures to push Chakra towards his legs. In an instant, he easily overpowered Setsuna and sent her flying away straight into a sandstone spire. Naruto admired his work once he was back on his feet. That was pretty badass. 8 spheres of lightning, each the size of a tennis ball, emerged from the dust cloud released by Setsuna's impact. They spread all over the place, stopping at apparently random positions around Naruto. Not stopping to think for a second, Naruto jumped away from them. A lightning bolt flew from within the dust towards one of the spheres, jumping from one to the next at, well, lightning speed, before going for Naruto once it struck the last one. Whoa! Naruto howled as he leapt out of its deathly path. The spheres got into motion again, orbiting Naruto in unpredictable, erratic paths. A second lightning bolt appeared, challenging Naruto's reaction speed as the order in which it struck the 8 spheres before going for him was apparently random. This was, Naruto realized, the point. He could not tell which would be the last sphere struck before it actually happened, so he did not know from which direction would the eventual attack come from. Best jutsu ever. Mu fire is better. Okay, maybe not the best, but pretty cool anyway. He did not notice when Setsuna closed the distance between them and moved back to melee. At the same time, one of the 8 spheres became a lightning bolt itself, jumping past the other 7 spheres before attempting to strike Naruto. Oof. Naruto watched the thin line of electrically charged pain fly by his left side. Setsuna stopped a step away from Naruto, turning so as to show only her right side to him. She made an outside circle kick with her right leg. Foe, Mujuai. Oh my fucking god. Naruto screamed even as he dodged. Setsuna's legs were coated in lightning. A wide arc of lightning moved with Setsuna's right leg, smashing the solid ground with the force of a giant hammer, blowing fragments of rock everywhere. A second lightning ball was spent, jumping from sphere to sphere before going for the blonde vessel. Naruto's muscles and senses were in overdrive, allowing him to somehow make it out unscathed from that electric hell. Setsuna was just a step behind, this time going for a straight kick aimed at his chest. Rapier, lightning crackled on the tip of her foot, granting her attack unparalleled piercing power. Naruto ducked. Setsuna's stretched leg fell upon him. Hake, Achu, Tihi. Naruto jumped to his left, and Setsuna's foot only struck the ground. The boy had to jump a second time in a single step to dodge the third sphere-turned lightning bolt. Kick, dodge, jump, duck, kick, jump, flip. Just like there was lightning all around him. Electricity coursed through Naruto's body. Tense muscles, sharp reflexes. 3 more spheres were gone. Human and Kitsune danced a waltz of electrical death. Naruto went after Setsuna this time. The shorter Kitsune caught the right knee kick with her left shin. Before Naruto pulled away, Setsuna counterattacked. Riposte. Naruto bent his torso backwards, watching a lovely leg stretched less than a foot above him. Any thoughts of striking back were stopped by the 7th sphere, forcing him to drop to the ground and roll away. Extension. Jump back. Duck. Sway to the left. Sidestep to the right. All 4 tails dug into the ground behind Naruto and pulled in their owner. Setsuna went for a high jump and a straight kick. At the same time, the final sphere glowed menacingly. Naruto ducked one more noticing out of corner of his eyes that the sphere had moved to his right. He leapt forward in time to let the final lightning bolt pass behind him, and got back on his feet with a fluid roll. Then he felt a flat body on his back. Was that your back or your chest, mistress? I really can't tell. The only response he got was crackling electricity. He decided to place it all in his next move and hope Lady Luck was with him this time. "I'm so going to hurt you for GYH, Setsuna squeaked. "You spanked me, aga." Next thing she knew, Naruto had swept her feel off the ground, seized both her hands and pressed the full weight of his body on hers. "Whoa, I can't believe it actually worked." Naruto celebrated with a silly grin. Their right cheeks were touching. "And it was your back after all." "Really?" Now that I noticed, Naruto rubbed his chest against hers a bit, furthering Setsuna's embarrassment. "Yeah, I can tell the difference now. Bastard. So are we done? Please tell me we're done." Setsuna pondered for a moment. "Sure, it's about time. Now get off me." "No." "What the hell do you mean, no?" "'Cause you'll kill me the moment I get off." "True, but I can kill you even like this, too." "You can." The tip of a black fox tail made itself known by poking Naruto's back through his clothes. The tails. Right. So what was the point of me restraining your body like this?" "Beats me. Now, get off." "I'll well promise you won't hurt me." Setsuna gritted her teeth. "I promise nothing." Well, I kinda can't." "Explain yourself." "I'm tired." "You're tired." Setsuna sighed. "You know, I'm starting to think you're just looking for an excuse to feel me up." "What?" "It would explain your recent obsession with my derriere." "Nuni." "Oh, shut up." Naruto spat back, not moving an inch. "You're the one who was asking for it at the end." "Asking for what?" Really?" An irate Setsuna responded. "But I was not the one who had a raging hard-on after that." "What's a wajin hard?" "Well, at least I'm not a total pervert." Naruto shouted. "You started the whole thing." Setsuna shouted back. Blue eyes met red, and the two silently challenged each other for several tense seconds, their noses barely touching. Slowly, very slowly, Setsuna's angry frown became a mischievous smirk. At the same time, Naruto's own smirk faded and changed into a nervous expression, a prominent blush adorning his cheeks. "Is that a kunai in your pants or?" "Don't finish that sentence," Naruto grumpily mumbled, pushing himself off Setsuna so that she would not feel his sudden erection. He had gotten hard from arguing. How many kinds of weird was that? Those were his thoughts as he slowly tried to get back up. Fortunately, Naruto's right knee subtly brushed the gap between Setsuna's legs. The Kitsune gasped cutely. Naruto stopped. His cerulean eyes sought Setsuna's scarlet. Slowly, they moved down to shoot a glance at the slightly damp spot on her sundress. Just as slowly, they moved back up to her eyes. Setsuna's pupils had moved to her right, avoiding his gaze. Naruto's smirk would have made the Cheshire Cat envious. "You did not hear anything." I didn't. Maju Sayuri doesn't get it. It is almost redundant to say it, but Setsuna did kill him when he got off her. A reset later, the two were watching the clouds again. Naruto was simply waiting to leave this strange and rather monotonous world. Setsuna was forcing herself to settle down. "You're not a two-tails anymore, Kira Setsuna. Act your age. Like that. Oni-cha-town." Naruto frowned at Sayuri's whiny tone. "What? And boo-what? I wanna behave." Good point. He turned to Setsuna. "Mistress." Taken by surprise by Naruto's sudden call, Setsuna quickly gained a blush. She looked away. "What is it? Are we waiting for anything to get out of this place?" No, I was just thinking. Yeah, thinking things completely beyond your comprehension. Moron. Setsuna has taken several levels of tsundere. So, can we get out now? Sayuri's bored. Setsuna raised an eyebrow. Really then why doesn't she break the technique herself if she's so bored? She can. I'm a Nine Tails. I can do anything. Right, so why haven't you done it yet? Maju. Sayuri hadn't thought about it. Alright then do it now. Sayuri doesn't really know how. Naruto sighed. You don't know how. Setsuna held back a chuckle. It's not surprising. She might be a Kyuubi, but I doubt she has been even trained in Kitsune arts. This technique is completely different from anything she might have seen before. It's a jutsu that creates an alternate reality, after all. Maju, but I'm bowed. Alright then, get us out of here, mistress. No. What? Naruto moved up from his laying position to better look at his teacher. Why? Because. Setsuna shrugged. I'm tired. I'd rather lie down for a few hours. You should rest too, boya. Wha? No. I want out. Out? I don't think Sayuri's gonna let me rest. Sayuri gasped as the proverbial light bulb was turned on. I know. Sayuri Wejix Yao Wheelity. And Subti changes it with her own. Random Genkaio Yuian trivia. Sayuri is an honorary member of the Mythbusters. She even has an official t-shirt. Anyway, they were out. They were back in the familiar greenery of Konoha's peripheral training grounds. Now how did this happen? Setsuna muttered to herself. I did it. Wiggle, wiggle. So, how are you feeling, Bo? Naruto screamed at the top of his lungs, scaring the nearby fauna. Setsuna winced. Too loud. Oh god, the pain. The agony. The torture. Naruto was on the grass, incapable of moving. The humanity. You're such a wuss, Setsuna muttered bitterly. My muscles ache, too, and you don't see me screaming like a pussy. Oh what? So, can we rest now, boya? We're not done for today. Let's rest. Yeah, rest is good. Thank you for your kindness, Mistress Setsuna. The Kitsune smiled in satisfaction. I've trained you well, Naoru, but I wanna do something. And bowed. Naruto suppressed a groan. Like what? I wanna burn something. Sayuri, sometimes I really worry about you. Maju. Sayuri doesn't get it, but Oni-chan being a Amwini. Boya. I was wondering. She leaned on her left side to look straight at Naruto. By any chance, has she told you what happened the day she was sealed? I was chasing Ma Tails. Naruto's sweat dropped. Yes she has. Resting her head on her left hand, Setsuna offered him a rather suspicious smile. May I hear the story? Though I don't see why not, he said rather tiredly. Oni-chan. Put some emotion, and cool sound effects. Naruto sighed. Be a good girl and chase your tails for a while, Sayuri. My tails, whoosh. Naruto could swear he could hear the water splashing as little Sayuri rolled all over her prison. Go roll, Yuri, go. So how was it again? He began. Sayuri suddenly felt like becoming gigantic.
I will continue the story next part. Till then, we weep offline.